morning, lovely people. It is Thursday, the 5th of January. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And of course, as always, the lineup is lit. I am one of your hosts, my own royalty.
Big man Use in the building. Good morning.
Good morning. So that means the rest of ours wasn't heard. Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. I was going to say it's the man. You're rubbing off on me. I actually was going to say that.
Yeah, I can hear myself.
Okay.
All right. They call me man. The pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That is right. Always, always. Before we get on with the show and, do small chats and get into the headlines and all that great stuff, I just want to remind you guys to like the video you're watching, share it as well because it stays up when we're done, subscribe to the channel, and also do us a lovely little favour, a consistent favour we're hoping you'll be doing us. Go on Twitter on the day after TNB and retweet the link that has been shared. It's a link to the show and it's also just kind of like highlights of what we're going to be talking about today. So if you could do that, that'd be great. The day after TNB. You might as well follow us while you're there. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I'm cool.
All good, man. Can't
All
complain.
good.
Yeah? Oh dear, not me.
How you
breaking.
doing?
I'm okay, thank you. Aye. I'm all right, thank you. It's a little tired these days, but nothing that is new in my life.
Why these days?
I don't know. I think over the Christmas period, I've had like time to really rest. And I think my body is one of those ones where when you give her a chance to rest, she just wants to rest. She just wants to rest. So I think I'm kind of easing myself into the new year this week.
Okay.
Next week, we're back on the routine and whatever else. But
Okay, that's good.
move. Yeah, we move.
I see you got the hair done.
I did get my hair done. Thank you. Big up the auntie that did my hair. Anyone who wants the details, let me know. It wasn't as the girls be charging. It's cost me, what was it, £90?
So what did the girls be charging him?
Like £150. Yeah,
Anyway,
it's a
let me
lot.
relax.
They're knotless braids and they're all the way down to my bum and it's very light on my head and it's just what I needed. Yeah. Big up the aunties. The aunties, some of the aunties are making sense. I mean, I was there longer than I needed to be. Because auntie multitask. Wish she wouldn't.
Are there any downsides with going with the aunties as opposed to the girls?
Yeah, because sometimes the aunties don't understand what you're saying. And they do I can do it. And then when it's time to do it now, it's not as what you had showed them or discussed. So sometimes they're not real with themselves. They're very optimistic about what they can do. But again, this is why you need to know who you go to for what. Do you know what I mean? So braids and stuff like this, I will go to the auntie because she gets it. And she braids, like she's from Sierra Leone, but she braids like they do back home. Like I love a quality braid. If flights were cheap, I would actually fly back to Nigeria to get like braids done. It's just the best thing ever.
How much does it cost in Nigeria?
I like 20p. I'm joking. No,
I'm serious.
I'm joking. I think when you it'd be like £10.
Okay.
When you do when you try to charge it back. So I think when I went, it was like 20-something thousand, 25,000. But it was so good. I mean, to be fair, it was a lot of them and they were so lovely to me. And I've got like a nice relationship with the salon now. Hoping to get into business with them in the future, but
That's good.
Thank you very much. But yeah, and then so back home, I always say if you're back home, you're watching this from Ghana or Nigeria, you're going soon, I think always tip them. But don't tip them in a way where it's very excessive, where it can like tip the scale of the economy. Do you get what I mean? But you tip them enough. I think when I tip them...
What does that mean?
Because basically, like if you tip them excessively, that can then cause the prices to kind of jack up. But then when the people who come on holiday leave, the prices stay jacked up for people who live there. And they can't afford it because they're rolling with the same economy that, obviously we roll with a different currency. So it will always seem cheaper for us. Because there you wash your hair. And I washed my hair. They blow dried it. All of that stuff. Here, that'd be like an extra £20. But for over there, they blow dry your hair. They do everything they're meant to do. But also back home, which I love as well, the culture of getting your hair done is still as it was in our parents' days. Because today, the girls want you to do everything. You bring the gel, you bring the cream, you straighten your hair before, you comb it before. It's ridiculous. Like girls will even charge you to blow dry your hair before braiding it. But obviously with natural hair, that natural hair goes back to its natural form very, very quickly. So even when with mine, we started off with blow dried it, cool. But when she finished at the half, she has to blow dry it again because it's natural hair. The girls charge you like £15 for that.
The again process.
They charge the fact that they have to get the blow dryer out. They're charging you £15.
Wow.
We're living a very, very poor time. But I'm glad I can do hair because my daughter's the hair will be done. I'm not paying stupid prices for stuff like that. Then again, I might be too rich and
There you go.
too booked and busy to be doing the hair.
Exactly. It's true.
But yeah, so if you go back home to ever do your hair, tip people or any services, honestly, tip people. I think I tip them like
Do you
half
walk
of
with
my
pictures
price.
to show the aunties?
That what?
Do you walk with pictures to show the aunties?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, so they know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, but to be fair, with most hairdressers, you would have to do that anyway. Because sometimes people don't, the measurements is different for everybody. Do you get what I mean? Like with these, I wanted medium and these are medium. But some people would make them smaller and be like, oh, that's medium. Or some people make them larger and it's like, no, that's not medium. It's just avoid any confusion and any Twitter threads. It's just best to just roll pictures.
All right. And how did you find this one?
How did I find her? I found her random, like, what New Year's is this now? So not this New Year's, the one before, because I wanted to wash my hair. So I just found someone local to me. And then she did a great job washing my hair and stuff and treating it. And I thought, okay, I'll try her for braids. Did my braids with her. And I was like, okay, she's good for braids. And I've just kept her for braids.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was nice. And you said you're going to get into business with like a Nigerian salon back home?
Yeah. So obviously with my brow stuff that I do, at some point, I'm hoping the prayer is that I will be expand enough where I can like do training out there and stuff and introduce the treatments out there. And I reckon their salon, because I just really liked them. They were so lovely to me after some other one pissed me off. And my friend nearly got arrested by the police with them. Anyway, sorry for another day. But yeah, so I'm hoping like to kind of go in business with them in terms of when I need a place to like do my training or to carry out services, I can get in business with them. But they're so lovely. Like I still talk to them and interact with them on socials and stuff like that. The manager's so lovely. Oh, if you live in Abuja, it's Uchi's Beauty Lounge. They're so lovely. And they do quality hair and everything. So when I go back, that is my place to get my hair done. And they do lashes and nails as well.
It's not pronounced Uche?
No, it's Uchi. Is someone trying to correct me?
No.
Oh, not you, you're Nigerian. Okay, Brent.
But I thought it was, but I've been saying it wrong.
No, Uche is the name.
Okay.
But with them, it's called Uchi's. I'm not sure if Uche is the full name, but maybe they just wanted to slang it. But it's Uchi's Beauty Lounge. You can go on their Instagram as well and check them out.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yeah. And let them know the London babe.
Are there any benefits from going to the the girls? You mentioned the benefits for the aunties, but...
No, there are benefits to the girls because the girls understand like more up-to-date styles. Do you get what I mean? Like what I wanted to do really was locks, but not the locks I did myself. I wanted to do like Marley faux locks. I'm learning, guys. Marley faux locks. But the girl, this is just another disadvantage. Sorry, I know you asked for my advantages, but she didn't reply my message. That was like a month ago. I messaged her like end of November, and she didn't reply to my message yet. So
She doesn't know my own royalty. You know?
it's ridiculous.
It's
The girls want to be CEOs and boss babes, but they don't give boss babes customer service. But no, so there are advantages of going to the girls because they get it. The girls actually get it. The aunties not so much sometimes. But
So
yeah,
the girl
the girls, yeah.
who charges like the auntie and gives the service like the auntie
Yeah.
would make a killing.
She would. But the thing is, I can't find them. But I go out of my way to find like people who are just kind of starting out to encourage them and stuff like that. But I can't find them. And then some of them, they start, and I'm not saying, you have to charge like low price because you just started. I don't believe in that. If your skill is great, charge what you believe you're worth. But I just can't find them. If I could find anyone that did what the auntie did, I would have gone to support, but I can't.
I need to make an app.
You should.
Yeah.
We'll talk actually. That will be a really good app.
Yeah. All right, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll try to delete that before.
That's a
goes
good
live.
what the idea, right? Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say more. I said nope.
Delete.
Nope. Well, yeah, guys. Should we get into our headlines?
Call it Uchi
Let's
Uchi
do it.
Mala.
What? You're not okay.
All right. So Rishi Sunak had his first speech of the year yesterday, like we kind of spoke about. So Rishi Sunak has asked people to hold him account if NHS waiting lists in England do not fall in 2 years. It's one of 5 pledges set out in the Prime Minister's first major speech of 2023, with others including the economy and small boat crossings. Mr. Sunak is facing challenges this winter, including a wave of strike action, a cost of living crisis, and a huge pressure on the health services. But the PM said he was taking urgent action and increasing NHS funding. He said the government was also increasing bed capacity, and the extra money would help ensure people who are ready to be discharged can be moved into social care or looked after in the community. With the Tories trailing in the polls after last year's political turmoil, Mr. Sunak used his speech to set out the priorities for his premiership. He also sought to reassure the public that he could deliver ahead of a general election widely expected to be in 2024. His speech set out 5 key pledges, which we're going to go into in further depth in the People's Journal. But he said people will be able to judge his government on whether it had delivered on these priorities. No tricks and no ambiguity. He provided little detail on how some of these pledges are going to be achieved and admitting many factors are out of his control. But Down the Street later said that halving inflation this year will be judged from the final quarter of 2022 to the final quarter of 2023, and that Mr. Sunak's pledge to grow the economy will be met if GDP is higher in the 4th quarter of 2023 than in the 3rd quarter. Second headlines is basically going to be like a response to that, and this is going to be from Keir Starmer. So he's got a speech, his first speech of the year, due today as well. So it's expected that he is to warn that Labour won't be able to spend our way out of the mess left by the Tories, even though he recognises the need for investment. In his first speech of 2023, the Labour leader will promise a decade of national renewal if he wins the next general election, but he will also say that the party won't be getting its big government checkbook out again. The Tories accuse Mr. Starmer of yet another desperate relaunch attempt. In his speech, Sir Keir Starmer will also look ahead to the election, pledged to create the sort of hope you can build your future around. These are all little snippets from that speech that he's expected to do today in Stratford. So again, he's likely to say, that's why showing how we can change the country is so important this year. We can give people a sense of possibility again, show light at the end of the tunnel. But he's also going to be warning voters and his own party not to expect big increases in public spending. He's also going to be saying, of course, investment is required. I can see the damage the Tories have done to our public services as plainly as anyone. But we won't be able to spend our way out of their mess. It's not as easy as that. There's no substitute for a robust private sector, creating wealth in every community. He also promised to set out new policies in the coming weeks that will form the heart of Labour's next manifesto. And the last headline is about basically the EU's response to COVID tests from Chinese arrivals. So the EU, their officials have strongly recommended that all member states insist on negative COVID tests from Chinese arrivals before they travel. Travel in and out of China gets easier from Sunday as part of the scrapping of the zero COVID policy. China is currently seeing a surge in COVID cases, with reports of hospitals and crematoriums being overwhelmed. Some EU countries have already introduced testing, despite early advice that it was unjustified. Wednesday's recommendation on negative tests came from the EU's Integrated Political Crisis Response Group, IPCR, which is a body made up of officials from the EU's 27 governments. And this is what they advise. They advise that all passengers on flights to and from China need to wear face masks. Random testing of flights from China are going to be introduced, and also that wastewater monitoring be conducted at airports. The recommendation comes a day after the European Commission, the executive body of the European Union, said that an overwhelming number of member states favoured restrictions on Chinese arrivals. France, Spain, and Italy have already introduced testing, but others such as Germany had been monitoring the situation. England, which is obviously outside the EU now, requires pre-flight testing on China arrivals from today. Despite the recommendation, it's not known if an EU-wide policy will be introduced, but individual states can set their own policy. That's the end of the headlines.
Thank you very much. Let's get into our What You Saying topic of the day.
All right. So, this topic of the day is based around an interview that Akon had with ZZ Mills around the end of last year.
Big up ZZ Mills.
Yep. And this was something that was kind of suggested by our US correspondent, Stacey.
Big up
So big up
Stacey.
Stacey. And she basically just wanted us to kind of chime in on it a bit and see basically our thoughts, right?
I hope it's light because Stacey, I know you like peace of mind. So
Exactly. So if it's not light, I can't be blaming today.
no, it's definitely Stacey's one.
All right. So Brent's going to play the clip so we have more context.
Was so young with such good stage presence. I was blown away by him.
But he's African.
Yeah.
We a little different when it
Yeah,
comes to stage
yeah,
presence.
yeah,
now in
yeah.
America, oh yeah, niggas gonna be wobbling, pants hanging half down, bored as hell, half asleep because they high as hell on
Right,
stage.
yeah.
But Africa, we wake up morning like look at these YouTube clips of all these kids from Uganda and how they be, you know what I'm saying? Like these kids are performers. Like so, for us, it comes natural.
He's someone so young with such good stage presence. I was blown away by him.
Who's
Sorry.
he talking about?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was cut off, so I didn't really.
So please play
Yeah.
that one more time.
Because they high as hell on
Right,
stage.
yeah.
But Africa, we
So young with such good stage presence. I was blown away by him.
but he's African.
Yeah.
We a little different when it
Yeah,
comes to stage
yeah,
presence.
yeah,
now in
yeah.
America, oh yeah, niggas gonna be wobbling, pants hanging half down, bored as hell, half asleep because they high as hell on
Right,
stage.
yeah.
But Africa, we wake up morning like look at these YouTube clips of all these kids from Uganda and how they be, you know what I'm saying? Like these kids are performers. Like so, for us, it comes natural.
He's someone so young with such good.
Akon is talking
I
about
don't think
Afrobeats
there's, I don't
in
think there's anything
2006.
in this
boy.
clip though. There's nothing.
You don't think there's anything
There's nothing there. I
Okay.
don't see where the.
with the issues?
Was an issue.
Yeah, I'm about to.
What's the issue?
So basically, you know Van Lathan, yeah?
Yeah.
You know that, yeah. You know Van Lathan. You probably know
Y'all
him.
embarrass me on here sometimes.
You know him. You do know him. If you see him, you know him. So basically, this guy, yeah,
It's
he's
the guy that told Kanye West that he's chatting crap when he came into
yes, the slavery is. a
Oh,
choice.
yes,
yeah,
yes.
exactly. So he's come out, yeah. So you know, I think since then he's pretty much been a vocal guy
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to issues relating to black people. So he's basically come out, criticized Akon. It's a long post, so I'm not going to read everything. But basically, he's kind of sending for him and basically trying to highlight the differences between, I guess, Akon's point of view and why that point of view is very dangerous, basically.
Yeah.
And he's basically said that I'm sick of people. Where is it? Yeah, basically, he's sick of people singling out Black Americans for criticism, the ones who have culturally empowered the entire diaspora, right? And basically, that he's basically criticizing, saying that he's really mocking the entire experience and all this type of stuff, right? About black culture.
What, the experience of getting high on stage?
But he's basically, because I guess he kind of sees it as not just the whole high on stage, trousers sagging type of thing, but the entire culture. You know what I'm saying? And he says this seems to be happening more now. Why? Why do people who like Akon have made millions of dollars cosplaying like players, like brothers from Atlanta or Miami, feel the need to tear into us specifically? There's this fear that I have. That fear is that there's no diaspora. That fear is that Black Americans are to other Black people worldwide what we've always been. Workhorses used to plow through and build something for someone else who then eats off of it before turning around and shooting the horse in the head. That might be irrational, but I'm insecure. I'm as insecure as Akon must be to have strapped a PS5 to his head and called it hair. So obviously he's sending for Akon at the end there, right? But
thing is, who were they talking about before the clip started? 'Cause that will give context. Because it seemed like Akon's talking about rappers and comparing them to dancers.
Yeah, because
Who's
what?
Black Sheriff or Sharif?
Oh, it's Black Sharif. Of course I fucked up. We never fuck up. Hands in the air.
is he young? Like, how is he?
Yeah, he's young.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
Because
That's the song he sings, by the way. I wasn't just bursting into a song.
the description that Akon gave wasn't to me referring to R&B singers. He was referring to rappers.
Rappers, yeah.
But then you can't
yeah.
refer to rappers, then reference kids dancing. It's a whole different
different thing.
Yeah.
different thing.
You basically talk about the Ghetto
Yeah, so
Boys.
it don't make the clip didn't make any
50
sense to me.
Cent.
Even what he said in the clip didn't sound. I couldn't find the key word that was offensive.
Yeah, because you know what I was gonna say as well. Akon is also talking about Afrobeat artists or African artists in 2006, because we were just talking about yesterday how Burner was kicking someone in the face. Do you remember that clip of the video in Afro Nation? And he was like, and what again? He's shouting at us. You think he was doing that because he was high off life or high off the African energy? These singers these days are high too.
Yeah.
They on drugs. So I don't know what he's talking about. And also, as someone who grew up in Nigeria and is aware of like when the whole hip hop stuff was like going in terms of like that 50 Cent look, when G Unit, the guys back home been sagging. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. Like area boys been sagging. Do you get me? Like, so I'm not, this distinction that he thinks is there, Africa is heavily influenced by the West.
But then I guess this is why someone like Van Lathan's kind of upset, because it's like he's not necessarily just tugging those one or two things, right?
Yeah.
He's actually sending shots at the entire culture and trying to make that distinction between Black Americans and African people.
Do you know what it's about Van Lathan, yeah? I smell a podcast about to stop.
Yeah.
I feel a podcast.
Oh, he has a
brewing.
podcast.
He does already. Oh,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
I knew it. Because you know what it is, yeah? I don't know if you watched the full clip.
Okay.
Obviously, I haven't seen the full clip either. I feel like that will provide more context. But really, I don't think there's anything wrong with what Akon is saying. But again, it is what Yusuf said in that he's not comparing. It's not like for like.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're comparing little kids that don't have access to drugs to grown adults who do have access. Like, it makes no sense. But Akon be talking anyway with his silly little hairline.
Well, someone's written in, and basically said,
That was in response to Stacey's thing.
yeah. So basically, they've said he's making an overgeneralization that is untrue, and specifically saying Black Americans lack stage presence in comparison, which would mean all African artists do have stage presence.
They
because
don't. Wizkid don't.
because they are African, which is also untrue. Wizkid has been high out of his mind for several tours, to the point he garnered several complaints about it and cancelled shows to focus on his health. So like Van said, it is insidious to perpetrate the culture for gain and then years later start speaking like an op. This isn't the only outlandish thing that Akon has said, attempting to other Africans from other Black people. There's something there.
The thing is, Akon is a serial African though. Like, he's so African that why does anyone listen to what he's saying? But I think also it's one of those things, this is why I'm like, I don't know if people have watched the full clip, because from what he's saying, it's like if I was like, all right, you know how Nigerians are, we make nice jollof.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm saying no one else's jollof is nice,
Yeah.
but I'm just talking about this. I don't know what the conversation was, but from what I'm hearing, it's like, yeah, you know, Africans, like, our joy is just different.
Yeah,
And people
yeah.
say that all the time, because we talk about it all the time. Africans who live here, how here is just so miserable sometimes. And people back home that have a fraction of what we have, they're filled with joy and just getting on with their life.
Do you feel like that's, like, with the whole jollof thing, do you think it's because maybe that subject matter is a bit lighter? So, for example, if I was to go around saying, look at us Africans, we care about education in our homes. But if you look at the Jamaicans now, the West Indians, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? That could be much more offensive than me comparing jollof to rice and peas.
I guess
You know
so,
what I'm
but everyone just rip this
Yeah.
game up, man.
I don't think it's that deep at all.
I don't.
I don't think it's that deep at all. I think Akon was talking to a specific type of artist, and I think it's completely obvious from the description he gave. He's talking about the young thugs, the gunners, the babies. He's not talking about Omarion or people who dance and
Mellow,
put on a show.
exactly.
He's talking about rappers who drink lean, smoke weed,
Yeah.
don't really dance. They just,
Vibe on stage.
put the mic out to the crowd to repeat the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, people need to read between the lines, isn't it? It's completely obvious what he's saying.
I
I think the comparison's off because it's not like for like comparison.
Okay.
But I feel like it's obvious who he ain't talking about T-Pain. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious who he's talking
Exactly.
about. So I don't see the problem. I think Van Lathan is just he's reaching to me.
Yeah, I think people like to take offense to things that...
Yeah.
I honestly just think we live in a world, age right now, people just want to take offense to anything. Like, if someone, even when people cuss Nigeria or they cuss Nigerian girls or say something about the culture or whatever, like, okay, okay, that's your opinion. Makes no difference to me. Okay, do you get what I mean? I don't think, I honestly, maybe he does have a cult, like Akon leads a cult. But I don't see how what Akon is saying is damaging to anything.
Okay.
Considering, again, he's speaking of certain type of artists.
And what you're saying is true.
And it's true. It's true. How many of them rap about lean, being on lean all the time and And even when they do the little documentaries, when they're making the album documentaries, we see them high off their head. Do you get what I mean? So
Is this
it dangerous?
Is this a case of him being triggered then? Because a lot of the time we can say things as true.
Yeah.
People don't like to hear it and they get upset. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. So we can't necessarily say because it's true, it's okay, if that makes sense. Or can we?
I think we can.
Okay.
I think when you're triggered by something is when you make the biggest deal about it.
Yeah.
When something, I don't know, again, he's a podcaster of a certain kind, so really and truly, I expect this. But I think when stuff triggers you, then you will make the most noise about it. But other than that, we can say things that are true because, like, it's okay to say things that are true because it is true. I guess if a white person said it, it's still true.
But that's a very good point there. Would we behave the same way if a white person said that though?
No, we'd definitely be outraged. But again, it's not because it's not true, it's because they're white.
Okay.
Like there's certain things I know, I am well aware that it's what that white person, that Caucasian person has said is 100% true. In fact, the black brothers and sisters say it too. But that's something I'm like, I don't want to hear from your mouth.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
but then again, they're speaking the truth.
Do you also see it as because I think and probably Stacey will be in a much better position to talk about this, but in terms of like the dynamic between Africans and Black Americans back in America, I think there's always been that friction. You know what I'm saying? Because they see the difference, especially those who come from the continent. I thought I heard a phone. Yeah, I did. Okay.
Good morning, Stacey.
Hello.
Good morning, Stacey.
Morning. How are y'all?
All good,
right.
thank you. How are you?
Good. Happy New Year.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you dropped this in the topic of the day today because the timeline wanted to tussle when I posted it. But obviously, like a lot of my responses were a bit different because obviously I'm from here, America, and somebody mentioned in the comments talking about there's quite a bit of tension when it comes to topics like this because it ends up being like unfortunately a topic where it's like Africans versus African Americans. And personally, like I kind of shared the same view as like some of you guys thought. I personally do not think this is a big deal. Like I literally posted it on my Instagram with a poll because my point was I quite literally don't understand what the offense is. Like I think, like Yusuf said, like it's very clear the type of artist that he's talking about, and if we're gonna choose to like play Stevie Wonder to those artists, be for real. Like you know exactly who he's talking about.
Exactly.
But my qualm is like I sent the what E-Man read, like it's one of my profiles who posted or sent me the message basically outlining the issue with what he said. But I don't understand why every time we have conversations like this and others, why people are so anti-generalization. Like, am I supposed to really sit there and tally African artists who dance versus African American artists who don't dance? It's like, please be for real. Like, we're speaking on a majority here, and I think that it's naive of us to not like acknowledge the stark difference between the majority of African artist performances versus the majority of non-African artist performance. And I go to a lot of shows because I work in music, so like I see it. Like it's very much walk across the stage back and forth, twinkle the mic in front of the artist. Like it's not like dancing and like not. I don't want to say they don't put effort in it, but it could be also because the music doesn't warrant that as well. But I still think the difference is there, and it's not wrong for Akon to point that out. What I also don't understand is why every time somebody makes a generalization that my opinion is often true, African Americans feel attacked that it's a comparison war. Like if you read the beginning of what the man typed, I don't understand why you would think that if you didn't watch the video, it's someone questioned his blackness. I was like, what? Where does this come from? Like he's literally talking about people dancing. So that's my own like I don't, and I think part of it, again, my opinion, and I could be egregiously wrong, so apologies in advance. I feel like sometimes it's a bit of a, not imposter syndrome, but a little bit of insecurity, because obviously the circumstances in which, the history of being Black in America, like how African Americans got here, slavery, all that stuff. Like obviously it's unfortunate. Obviously no one asked for that. Obviously there's so many, you know, repercussions that came with the history of being Black in America. But I think that sometimes like there's so much focus on the negative, and like people, me myself included, African Americans included, sometimes choose to not disregard the beauty in African American culture, but like as a default, like it's defense versus just being like, I don't know, like championing what was created out of that unfortunate situation and then using that to like compare against like African culture. Like we still very much understand that at the end of the day, we're all African, but that doesn't mean that like there's this constant battle for it to be the same. Like there are differences and that's okay.
Okay, Sis, can I ask you two things?
Yeah.
You're like you're born and raised in America, right? But you're like first generation, right? So you're African.
Yeah.
Right. So do you feel like your perspective is kind of skewed because you're like us in the room here? You know what I'm saying? You're not necessarily, you're not
100.
a Black American, right? And number two,
100.
Okay, cool. So number two, yeah. Also, when you're comparing the artists, right? Are you doing the same thing Akon's doing, right? Comparing, I guess, rappers to, let's say, singers who do like Afrobeat and stuff like that. Because if it was R&B artists to R&B artists, right, from the continent and in America, would the performances be similar?
Yeah.
So it would be similar, yeah?
I think they would be.
Okay, cool.
I think he was stupid to use the example of the children dancing Uganda because, sir, be for real. But like, just think about like your prime time. Like, what would you classify the likes of, say, Davido? You wouldn't put him in the rapper category. You really wouldn't put him in the singer category. But my point being, he's a top African artist. A lot of your top American artists, look at the production versus, you know, the likes of Davido. Like, I just feel like there's a clear difference. And I want people to learn to say things without there being a negative connotation to it. Now, this is the part where I will admit Akon was wrong. The way in which he alienated Black people and made it like there's comparison, and there's a comparison where one is of lower value. Like, it's okay for you to call out a fact without you saying, yeah, and those ones over there, it's like, okay, there's a difference, but you it's not for you to make it seem as if one is less than. That I agree was wrong, but I still think the fact remains that when you go to an Afrobeat show, or, you know, you can even say that about other like cultural music, you should expect a little more dancing. Like, you're not gonna, even the crowd, like there is a difference. Parties as well, like there is a difference. At African parties, Caribbean parties, you're gonna see a lot more people dancing versus just being vibes, hookah, and you know what I mean? Like, just like, you know, a little shoulder shake, you know? And that's okay.
Yeah. Makes sense, man. Makes sense.
But yeah, that's how I want to share, y'all.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Such a character.
I wanted to ask you guys, before we wrap up, do you feel like if we were to kind of use the same argument for something else, right? In terms of like I said before, the other stereotypes, the differences between Africans and, let's say, Black Americans. Yeah. Let's just say the education thing, the whole kids out of wedlock thing, you know, all this type of stuff, right? Do you feel like those differences shouldn't be spoke about in the same way that, I guess, Akon kind of spoke about it then? Because obviously, like Stacey just said, you can highlight the truth, right? But sometimes in highlighting the truth, to kind of drill home the point, you're kind of talking about the contrast. You know what I'm saying? Which is, over there, they do this, but over here, we do this. Yeah. Is it wrong for us to kind of have these type of discussions? Do you feel like there was malice as well in what he was saying? I don't
think it was... Yeah. It's not so much malice, but when you do a contrast, because you can make a point you want to make without having to make a contrast. But to drive home your point and to make it clear either how good or bad this thing I'm talking about is, you bring in a contrast. I don't think it wasn't a malicious thing. However, it was just a thing. But I think it's difficult because we don't know the entire conversation. Yeah. I feel like it would have been necessary. However, say for example, I'm talking about how great, actually I talk about this all the time, how So, for example, people who date interracially, I always say you can just let people know your interests. You don't have to bring down your own people or another side for it to be clear why it is that you like whatever you like. I like black men because I love black men. I don't have to say because white men are, I don't know anything about white men for you to understand why it is I like this. I think, but I think with his example.
What if somebody says, okay, you know what, I like white girls, man, because they're just easy. They're not easy in the easy type of way, but easy in terms of...
The black brothers be saying that.
I just mean in terms of like stress-free, right?
Yeah.
They're just welcoming, they don't give me a headache, this, that, and the third. Does that not sound like a contrast without me mentioning black women?
It is, of course it's a contrast.
So how do I express my
I like white
preference?
women. That's my taste in white women I like white women. That's
But
it.
I want to talk about why I do. Do you get what I'm saying?
And you will be getting 1,000
Yo, don't
lashings from
clip
Dr.
this, you know.
Umar.
Hey, wait, you know people
Nah,
clip
Brent's
this up.
clipping that 100%. I would like a copy of that clip, please.
You know what? There's a lot you can do with that. You know.
There's
That's
so
why-
much, so
That's
much.
why I laugh
I'll
because
be
I was thinking.
finished.
there's a lot
You
you can
stepped
do
into
with
that one. There's so much. I can't wait for the
When you
memes.
guys, put it up. Make sure you tweet it.
Hey, you lot, please, man. Don't finish
I can't
me.
wait. I need that
A
now.
lot you can do with that still.
But no, but that's the thing. I think. Do you know what? Sometimes just like what you like. It's all right to like what you like and just be quiet about it.
Can I say something?
Of course you can, babes.
I don't know what Akon said.
Honestly, I feel like we need a longer clip. I feel like that wasn't the right segment. That wasn't the right. We
Like
didn't-
the
we
right.
didn't-
Yeah.
We didn't hear who they were talking about.
I think it was
'cause
funny.
I'm interested to know who they were referring to initially.
You're talking about Black Sheriff. Black Sheriff.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. That's,
Yeah.
that's, maybe that's why I'm skewed in my mind. I don't know who
Black
that is.
Sharif is a good. From what I've seen, his shows are lit. Like he's a proper good
But
performer.
why?
Good
why
morning.
Sorry why were they talking about him initially? Like, what was the?
I think it's to praise him because he's come up. Like his come up has been good as well.
Okay,
His come up has been good.
so they were praising him.
Yeah.
And off the back of praising him, they're
Yeah.
comparing his performances to Americans, essentially.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Because I can imagine the conversation being like, sorry, person on the phone, but I can imagine the conversation being like, you know, oh yeah, he's been doing really well, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you know,
Darling, I
that
love
African
you.
energy and that kind of vibe.
All right.
But I swear Black Sharif's trousers are low on his waistline. But anyways, good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
are you?
I would like to. I'm very well, thank you. I'm. What do they say? Long time listener, third time caller.
Love
Yeah,
it.
recognize the voice.
Thank you. However, guys, we're going to refer to me as Good Vibes Caller, as Esther called me in the past, and we're going to call that my name for today. Okay.
Oh dear.
I have a lot to say, guys. I have a lot
Okay,
to
let's do
say.
it.
I'm going to make sure that I talk at a reasonable pace. I said it in the comments. I must, because it's an important topic close to my heart.
Oh wow.
So, guys,
Okay,
let
this
me-
is serious. And let me sit up. Okay, let's do it.
Oh yeah, very serious. Yeah. Wait, calm down. So guys, let me say something, okay? This topic at hand, I was seeing the clickbait. It's not a clip, you know, the little what do they call it? Caption flying around at first. All I was seeing was Akon says that it's more of a white man thing to attend people's recitals. That was all I was seeing, okay? First step, tick. Second step, I was thinking that's nonsense. Whatever that means, that's nonsense. He's a silly man, whatever. Finally, I ended up clicking on a YouTube video of one person who like does content in relation to like the whole is it black women pink pill, but not negative stuff, just literally actually black women empowerment, whatever.
Okay.
So she had that title, and I clicked on it, and this is why I like the content creators that I like, and people like yourselves. Where possible, you try and add the context where possible. But in this case, I don't know if you guys have the context. Happy to give it to you, but you always do that kind of stuff. And I love that. So this woman, all she done for me that I loved tastefully was she played the clip.
Yeah.
Guys, she played the clip. So let me help you. Okay? Let me help everybody.
Offended me.
Oh, let me calm down. Guys, first step. Uncle Akon is sitting in front of ZZ Mills.
Yeah.
I'll leave that one. We pause there. Put a pin in that one. Put a pin. We come back. If you ask me to come back, I come back. If not, I don't come back to that topic. We carry on. Because I asked you guys in the comments about your thoughts on ZZ. I think she's a nice young lady, but we're not going to go on that one now. Put a pin in that one.
He's a nice
He's
young
sitting in
lady,
front
you
of-
know.
He's sitting in front of ZZ Mills. Afterwards, now, I don't know what the question was, but I hear this man say something along the lines, well, I do know the question, but I can't quite remember. It wasn't really relevant. Something along the lines of, oh, yeah, you know how we go, man. We have more... Basically, he said the point that you guys are saying, yeah? And then, but this is the thing at hand. But anyway, you guys already. Let me actually no. Where possible, let me retort what he said. No, focus. So he basically said along the lines of, he did make a comparison. He did. He said basically that like kind of. I see what he was trying to do. I like to do good in people. Yeah. He was trying to kind of say that like where the kind of Africans are the kind of people who maybe don't need too much production value, I guess, to do too much. Like he was saying, he made a comparison of the poor kids in Africa, they pretending meanwhile, I guess, you have the rappers that have all this money, but they're just standing on the stage. That's what he was trying to do. But afterwards, the first step, I just say, I was about to kind of make a little phrase that actually I heard from African Americans, because they're the ones that taught me the one of, they didn't have much, and afterwards they made a whole soul food. So first of all, can you see how that's common as black people? Let's just start there. Anyway, move on. So my angle is this, guys. The point he was trying to make here, it didn't land. And Zizi, like oh God forgive me, stop it. No, shut up. I was gonna berate her as a host. She's actually not a bad host. No. She's not. But in my opinion, she's actually not. Exactly. Thank you. I can't lie. God will strike me, so I can't lie, Abby. In my opinion, Zizi should not have just co-signed what he was saying. Maybe she felt it. That's fine. But in my opinion, if I was in front of him, I would dig deeper. I'll challenge him a little bit on that. Because no, he didn't. I didn't really appreciate the point that he was making, actually. But afterwards, he was trying to say a little something. Now, really, guys, this is the issue at hand. Everyone can say what they want to say. They can. In my opinion, you made some good points, Esther. But all of you did. You can make comparisons. We have to add nuance, this, that, and the third. But let me be very specific, guys, why I have such passion about this topic. First of all, that title that was flying around about, it's a white man thing to enter recitals. If I don't slap your stupid head, Akon, first of all, no, black men are actually good fathers for the most part. If they're actually given the economic standing to do so, they actually do show up for their children. So let's not even try it. But I understand that the image that's purported, which unfortunately is also purported by about our African-American brothers and sisters, guys. So let's not, okay? The image, even I understand you guys' thoughts and everyone's views about the whole out of wedlock thing, guys. But if you want to bring it statistically and then afterwards look at the situation in terms of health education, in terms of this, that, and the third, in terms of imagery, in terms of, just stop, guys. Let them not just delude us with lies. The same way that they make everyone seem that Africa is poor. Guys, in 2020, just a quick example very quickly. A very good friend of mine, truly respectable somebody, was interviewing me live on a platform. She actually kept on saying to me, "Oh, no, well done. You're so lucky that your mum came to England and born you there instead of Nigeria." Guys, I was going to lose it. She wouldn't stop. She was really, really, really saying that I'm so lucky. I was going to cry tears for me. I was going to knock her head because obviously, what do we guys know about Africa? It's a mixture, isn't it? So what are you saying right now? No, bitch, no. You know what I mean? But afterwards, that's the image that's reported. This woman is a sensible somebody. She has a non-profit and she's, no, do you know what I mean? So I'm sorry, guys. No, let's all wake up and smell the coffee. It's not Akon's fault, I guess, for ignorance. But the issue at hand is this, guys. Now I'll land my point and I'll let it go. But guys, Akon collected his money, guys. He collected his money and he lined his pockets very, very, very well from our African-American brothers and sisters. We would not know his name very well, guys, if not for them. We wouldn't, okay? And also, the money he's now putting into Africa, well done on his projects. He would not have it if not for them. So have some respect. What do you think you're doing? Have some respect. Be specific. And that's another thing. Somebody said something. I'm going to answer one of the boys' questions. How do you do it? Be very specific in your example. Be specific. Yeah. If I was him, I would have said this. Yeah, in my opinion, because it's true. The African-American girlies that care about music and culture have been saying it. Yeah, the rappers need to step up. Yeah, they do. They're a bit boring. Yeah, the men need to do fashion in the walkways. Why are they all doing boring outfits? We're cussing them too. We are meant to say, I love the flavor of Africans. You do positive first. We done it in sales, guys. You do sandwich, innit? You do sandwich. You do positive first. You hail the Africans for what they do because that's all cute and stuff. But then you say, where possible, it would be nice in the the African American amongst the rappers to see them adding a bit of more flair. But let's be real though, you're comparing oranges to apples or whatever, like the last caller kind of did say, but we focus. And then afterwards, you're then also still meant to end your comment on like I said, as a critique sandwich, positive, negative, positive. You're meant to still hail them up because you stupid man, they line your pockets. Who are you? You better find something positive to say about them. I'm sorry, guys. I'm done. I'm sorry because I'm done now. Thank you for listening. What's that, man? What the hell?
You're very passionate about this.
Bye.
See you later. Have a nice day.
I have to go. I'm embarrassed. I have to go. I'll listen to your critique on the video. I have to go. I'm so embarrassed. Bye.
Good vibes. Cool up.
That is too jokes.
Thank you for your call, man. I think that kind of wraps it up, man. Yeah, man. I think that's it for the topic of the day.
Thank you very much. We get into our next headlines.
Morning, Max, by the way.
Yes.
No one still didn't want to tell me what Akon said. It's all right now. It don't matter, I guess.
Yeah.
Morning, people.
Thank you very much for attending.
All right, so this next headline is about a topic that we kind of hoped we wouldn't have to talk about, right? But it's back again. And it's a bit long, but it's basically about Prince Harry and his new book that's coming out, yeah? So in his highly anticipated autobiography, which is called Spare, Prince Harry recounts what he says was a physical attack by his brother.
SPEAR.
S-P-A-R-E.
Okay, just
Yeah.
checking.
As in, like, he was the spare thingy, the spare heir to the throne,
Exactly that.
Okay, I just.
Yeah.
the spare brother,
Hmm?
the spare brother.
Yes.
Oh.
He was one of those. It was like kind of shade
Mm.
to the people. Them.
Exactly. So basically, he's talking about this, right? So he's describing a confrontation. Up in
I just thought you thought he meant spares and like off of your head, like trying to kill people.
Yeah, I just,
Like in a royal, like like off of your head, kind
I was
of.
just checking if it was like a weapon. Or,
like a,
just wanted to know what Harry was
His
on.
words have been weapon, but you know.
So he's describing a conversation at his London home in 2019, yeah, where Harry says William called Meghan difficult, rude, and abrasive, yeah, which Harry calls a parroting of the press narrative about his American wife. The conversation escalated, Harry writes, until William grabbed him by the collar, ripped his necklace, and knocked him to the floor.
Where Harry grabbed William.
No, William grabbed Harry, the future king.
I
Grabbed the
really,
spear.
I don't care about the king. I hope Harry slapped him back. The heck? Don't grab me my collar. What do you think this is?
Yeah, Harry didn't do these things, man.
Harry didn't fight. Oh, he's dropped down on the scale of roughness, boy.
Well, maybe what he did is in his book, innit? But
Yeah,
for
yeah.
right now, this is what we've got. So basically, he says, so it's going to be me kind of documenting the whole story. So basically, the scene, which Harry says resulted in a visible injury to his back, is one of many in Spare, which will be published worldwide next week and is likely to spark a serious furor for the British royal family. The book's title, like Esther explained, comes from an old saying in royal and aristocratic circles that a first son is the heir to titles, power and fortune, and the second is therefore a spare, should anything happen to the firstborn. Harry writes that William wanted to talk about the whole rolling catastrophe of their relationship and struggles with the press, but when William arrived at Nottingham Cottage, where Harry was then living, in the grounds of Kensington Palace, and known as Knockcott, he was, Harry says, already piping hot. After William complained about Meghan, Harry writes, Harry told him he was repeating the press narrative and that he expected better. But William, Harry says, was not being rational, leading to the two men shouting over each other. Harry then accused his brother of acting like an heir, unable to understand why his younger brother was not content to be a spare. Insults were exchanged before William claimed he was trying to help. Harry said, "Are you serious? Help me? Serious? Is that what you're calling this? Helping me?" That comment, Harry says, angered his brother, who swore while stepping towards him. Now scared, Harry writes, he went to the kitchen and his furious brother followed. Harry writes that he gave his brother a glass of water and said, "Willie, I can't speak to you when you're like this."
Why are you doing that?
Man said, Willie.
Also, Willie don't even sound right. But okay.
And he writes, he set down the water, called me another name, then came at me. It all happened so fast.
You know the name you called him, right?
The
You
N-word.
nigga loving. You nigga loving ginger.
They call Harry the N-word in that palace.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. I said another word. You could have said it. You could have said it. You know, it was still the M word, man.
The Queen, anytime he's popping up, anytime he's popping up, this nigga.
There he goes. I have to love this nigga. It's crazy, man.
Accurate.
I hate to see it.
He said it all happened so fast, so very fast. He grabbed me by the collar, ripping my necklace, and he knocked me to the floor. I landed on a dog's bowl, which cracked under my back. The pieces cut into me.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, he said I lay there for a moment, dazed, then got to my feet.
I
and
hate
told
when
him
they
to get
put
out.
sauce on their story though, man. Like, just tell me the story, man. I don't need, I fell on the
Slapped
dog
about.
bowl. The dog bowl cracked my rib and it broke.
I love those little details. It takes me there.
No, because now you're trying to make me feel sorry for the dog. Like, how's the dog gonna eat? The bowl's broke. Like,
Was
no,
the dog eating at the time?
you get what I'm trying to say? Like, dude, just tell me the story, man.
Aye.
After that, yeah, Harry writes that William urged him to hit him back. Yeah.
Hit me. Go on then.
Now this book's gonna be riveting.
Oh my
He was
gosh.
bringing up the fights that they had as children. Harry says he refused to do so. William left, Harry says, but then returned looking regretful and apologized.
William returned.
Yeah.
Regretful.
So I said, hit me.
Hit me then. Go on then. Go on. See now it's tenders, mate. That's ridiculous.
When William left again, his brother writes, he turned around and called back. You don't need to tell Meg about this.
Shut up, man. I'm going to tell. This is pillow talk.
Harry,
It's elite pillow talk.
Harry's like, you mean that you attacked me? And then William's like, I didn't attack you, Harold. Harry says he didn't immediately tell his wife, but did call his therapist. When Meghan later noticed scrapes and bruises on his back, and he therefore told her about the attack, Harry says that she wasn't that surprised and wasn't all that angry. She was just terribly sad. Yeah, man. So Harry's resentment of being the spare is the unifying theme of this book through chapters of his childhood, his schooling, his career as a royal and in the British Army, his relationship with his parents, his brother, and his life with Meghan through courtship, wedding, and marriage to their own experiences as parents. And that's that.
It must be difficult because when I watched The Crown, the Queen's spare, her sister,
Yeah.
she's passed away now, but she was good vibes. But it's weird because you still, as a spare, you're not anywhere near the throne, but you still got to live your life as if you're near the throne. Because I remember she wasn't allowed to be with the love of her life.
Yeah.
And she's the one who was against what's that one now? Charles. Against Charles being with I confused that. You know where that came from.
I'm just reading the news story. I don't know where that's coming from.
But she was and Diana getting married in the first place. She was saying, just let him marry the woman he wants to marry. But it must be annoying because you have to, there's so many restrictions for you.
Yeah.
And you're not even, what am I doing this for?
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough.
Crazy, but
It's
that
tough.
book sounds lit, man.
Yeah.
I feel like they should have done, I wish, to be fair, I guess they've got to kind of scatter everything, all the projects, but it's just like they're banging on now. And I hate it because I feel like the public that were on their side are now not wanting to hear it because it's like, oh, here we go again. And I hate that for them because they do have things to say. I feel like the book should just been a movie. Crown season 7 or something.
So what would you guys choose if you're given the option?
Or slapped into a dog bowl.
To be Maggie and have everything that you want minus the love of your life.
And Margaret, Queen's sister.
Yeah. Or to have complete agency over who you can choose to marry and be disavowed.
Wait, who had agency? Harry?
You just mentioned Margaret, right?
Yeah.
And then you said it was unfair.
Yeah, she couldn't marry the love of her life, yeah.
Yeah. So what would you pick?
But who's the other person that had agency?
No, listen.
Listen.
Like, he's just saying her, but imagine her like this.
Give me the scenarios one time.
Yeah.
You know how she wasn't allowed to marry that handsome guy?
Yeah.
Because he was kind of handsome.
He was handsome. He was spicy white.
Yeah. She looked decent as well, to be honest.
She was pretty. She was a babe.
Yeah. Obviously, the one that played her. Yeah. But anyway, so she had everything that she wanted minus the option to choose her love.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm saying, would you rather that or be able to choose who you love but be disavowed? You don't have all the benefits of being the queen besties. No, the queen's sister. So all the lavishness, all of that luxury, you're not having it. But you can choose who you want to sleep with.
I would just... Nah, because who love don't help. I would actually pick the one where I'm not with love of my life.
There you go. So the queen
I'll
was
find
onto
other loves
something.
of my lives.
She told her to fix up. She had it too
Yeah,
good.
but then when you think about it, what's the benefits really of being the queen's sister? All you do is you appear for the queen sometimes because she lived very miserable. Like she was smoking like 60 cigarettes a day.
She chose misery.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Did she though? Or was her life miserable? I don't think anyone chooses
Could have been
misery.
a whore.
Sure.
What?
Move on to the next headline, man. We're being silly. We're gonna have a serious
The queen
conversation.
said, have what you want, just be smart about it. That's what she said.
No, but I want to marry him.
Oh, this is... Labels, man. Labels.
No, I want to marry him. I want him to wake up next to me every day. I don't want to have to sneak out for the back of Balmoral Castle or whatever.
Look what
I
that
want to
makes-
walk front row. Like, I want to do this.
Look what Diana's husband did.
What cheated?
He had what he wanted. He had his cake and he ate it.
Yeah, at the cost of what? Diana's dead.
I mean, she did the same thing too. So
This is it.
Yeah, because he was doing it. You have to fight back.
Max, I ain't gonna ask you which one you would choose. Obviously.
Right, what would I do?
What do you mean? You'd have the luxury and you would sleep with everybody in the castle.
The queen can get it. Anybody can get it.
Kings do kingship, man.
So done with it.
All right, continue, man.
yes. So the next headline is about Trump, and basically, the question is his political career kind of over? So his recent comments about abortion as a political issue show that the former president has lost his ability to read Republican voters. This is what a veteran Trump campaign insider said. In a message seen by The Guardian, the operative said, Trump has no political skills left. His team is a joke. The ship is sinking. Trump kicked off his latest scrap with his own party on his Truth Social platform on Sunday, saying, it wasn't my fault that the Republicans didn't live up to their expectations in the midterms. On the contrary, most observers suggest Trump's refusal to admit defeat in 2020 and the endorsement of backers.
Trump kicked off his latest scrap with his own party on
Yeah,
his
why did you do that?
platform on Sunday, saying,
What?
Is the person even saying hello or just talking?
There's a lot of
That's
feedback,
E-Man.
Oh.
But you can hear.
Oh.
They need to turn on whatever they're watching.
Yeah. So on the contrary, most observers suggest Trump's refusal to admit defeat in 2020 and endorsement of backers of his election fraud lie contributed to Republican disappointments in November, including barely scraping a House majority, failing to take the Senate, and losing key races in battleground states. Trump said it was the abortion issue, poorly handled by many Republicans, especially those that firmly insisted on no exceptions, even in the case of rape, incest, or life of the mother, that lost large numbers of voters. In this instance, most observers would agree. It's generally held that Dobbs versus Jackson, the Supreme Court ruling handed down in June, which ended federal abortion rights, had a tangible effect at the ballot box. The comments prompted criticism from the political right. The Fox News contributor, Ben Dominic, said that it was hard to express how many false things Trump said in this one truth, pointing to the 2024 primary in which Trump is the only declared candidate but has slipped in polling, in part due to legal exposure for the election subversion and his business affairs. Dominic added, Trump betraying the pro-life cause on Dobbs has been telegraphed for a long time and is a huge opening to bash him in the 2024 stakes, which I expect several candidates to seize. Finally, think how stupid it is for Trump to run left on the pro-life issue. This is the biggest win of his presidency. Huge vested goodwill from pro-lifers. And what does he do? Call them quisling and say that they're too radical. Very dumb. So yeah, he's just basically getting a lot of criticism and people feel like there's no chance in 2024 for him to be re-elected. But yeah, that's it for the headlines. And the caller's still there.
No, she was just testing. It's Sheila. She was calling in for the first time.
Okay.
And they were trying to get her to put the plus 44 at the front. So she said that she was just testing it.
Okay.
Where's she
cool.
calling from?
America.
Okay. Pick up Shayla.
Okay, cool.
All right. Should we get into Word on Road?
Let's do it.
Boo. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Can you say it and then I'll say the person passed away?
G Boo.
Passed away. Very sad. It's not funny. But no, very sad
Sorry,
news. Brent
G Boo.
passed away
Who
on
the
New
hell
Year's
is that?
Day.
Gangsta Boo.
Gangsta Boo.
No?
Okay.
A legend, apparently.
I'll put,
Yeah.
I'll
Not
put
apparently. She was a legend. She is a legend. Was a legend.
Gangsta Boo's a woman.
Yeah.
She's like
Very
with
beautiful as well.
3-6 Mafia and that.
Yeah.
She's affiliated with them.
I'll read you some of her accolades. She got them. So hold on. Oh yeah, crap. Sorry, yeah, so she passed away. I'll read the accolades in a minute. She passed away on New Year's Day, sadly. She was with her brother, but it's been what is going on at the moment, or the reports, is that it was allegedly from a drug overdose. And her brother as well also overdosed, but he was able to be treated. He went to the hospital and he was fine. But she sadly passed away. She's 43 years old, which is young and sad. But yeah, her mum said the Mitchell family would like to thank everyone for their condolences regarding the untimely death of Lola Gangsta Boo Mitchell. The family is asking for your continued prayers and privacy as we process the loss of our loved one. So basically, she's an undisputed queen of Southern rap. She joined the 3-6 Mafia at the age of 15. They had a debut album in 1995 called Mystic Styles. In total, she's appeared on 3-6 Mafia records. And she had a successful launch. What am I talking about? A successful solo career as well. Her debut solo album was called Inquiring Minds, which came out in 1998. And she had like a few more that followed that. And yeah. Apparently she even appeared on Lato's FTCU featuring Glorilla this year.
What was it?
Yeah, apparently so.
Well, they tried to bring her back.
Ridiculous.
What?
But yeah, so she was a legend. So RIP to her, love and rest their family.
R.I.P. man.
It's very, very sad, man. But yeah, so that happened. And then also, sadly as well, Leomie Anderson, the model, she lost her dad on Christmas Day. He had been battling cancer for like 2 years. And she released a video yesterday, which is what I wanted to kind of highlight. She released a video yesterday encouraging people to take their health more seriously, especially like within the black community, because, you know, especially black community and like the older generation, and they have this thing of not wanting to go to doctors and, no, it's all right, we'll just go and blah, blah. So she said that her dad, he'd had like this persistent cough for a long time. And every time she would ask him about it, they'd be like, oh, no, it's just, you know, it was just a cold, it's just a cold. And her mum as well would be like, go and get it checked out. He'd be like, no, it's just a cold, it will go, it pass, whatever. And she said that when he then finally went to the hospital, it turned out he had stage 4 cancer, and he was given like a few months to live. But he beat that because he lived like 2 extra years outside of what they said. But she was saying how if like everyone basically, just like an urge for the public, for everybody to take their health more seriously. So when you notice anything that is not even right, whether you think it's a big deal or not, just get it checked out just for the sake of it. Because she was saying how she can't help but think what would have happened if her dad's cancer was caught earlier. Maybe it would have been caught earlier. Like, just maybe, at least if she did that, then, you know, you kind of crossed, you know that you've done all that you could do, basically. It was very, very sad, very emotional video. And I think it's a good idea that she did that. And people check out her page for the full message, Leomie Anderson on Instagram, and share it as well. But conversations need to be had around that, and the idea of not trusting, you know, medicals and all that kind of stuff. And I was reading something recently. It was actually about Nicole Thea, and I spoke about it. The young girl who died from pregnancy, when she was pregnant, her and a baby, because the doctor wasn't listening. And thankfully, she documented what the issue was. So she wasn't breathing properly. Like she had a lot, like she had shortness of breath, and she complained to her midwife, and the midwife was like, oh, you know, you're carrying a baby. Of course, that's normal. That's not normal. Because it turned out she had a heart issue, which is actually hereditary, which her grandma died from, and that's how she died. So they excuse her. But unfortunately, from what I'm hearing with the case, they didn't take liability for it because the nurse didn't write it down. So because because the girl said, thankfully she does YouTube. So she had a YouTube saying, I spoke to my midwife and she said she just dismissed it. But because the midwife didn't write it down, they're saying there's no record of Nicole telling them. Even though her partner was like, I was there when she told the midwives. So honestly, even when you go to medical professionals sometimes, obviously they deal with a lot. So sometimes they will dismiss what it is that you're going through, what it is you're dealing with. Don't get a second opinion, book another appointment and go again until you're actually taken seriously. So just to encourage everyone. I remember when I had like this skin thing going on with me, this woman told me I had vitiligo. I said, what Michael Jackson had? She was like, yeah. I said, okay. This time, of course it's not vitiligo. It ended up being some other skin condition. But Lil Heifer told me it was, do you know what I mean? So it was just dumb, man. So yeah, but it was a really good video. Obviously sending love and prayers to her and her family for the loss of their dad. And I hope they're able to heal from that. But yeah, if you notice anything, if your parents complain about anything, if you notice anything in them that they're not even trying to bring attention to, force them and make sure they go to the doctors so that you get to spend as much time as you can with your families. And my next bit of news is about Gabrielle Union has been trending, and it's got nothing to do with Boozy, or Lil Boozy, whatever he calls himself. But basically, she went on a podcast, Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, And she was basically talking about, she spoke about all sorts on the pod, to be fair. She talked about, meeting, how she met the host on an episode of Punked. And apparently that episode of Punked didn't come out because Sis knew she was being punked. So it just didn't work. She talked about, how Dwayne Wade and his retirement, how he's adjusting to that. And she talks about all sorts. But basically what's really, really made the news is her talking about her first marriage and how her infidelity in the first marriage. So she said she was married to the former NFL player, Chris Howard. And she said, during that first marriage, I definitely wasn't getting Wife of the Year awards. In that first marriage, neither one of us felt that our marriage should get in the way of our dating. And she said that she basically tried to match her husband's energy in terms of cheating. So in her book that came out, I believe this year, it's called We're Going to Need More Wine. She talks about how she was that she was basically not treated really well in that relationship, in that marriage, and how he was cheating on her all the time. So she said that it was a point where she was paying all the bills. She said, I was paying all the bills. I was working my ass off. I felt that that's what comes with the spoils of riches. So she said, she just decided, okay, I'm going to match your energy there. That's what you're doing, and I'm over here even carrying the household, I'm matching your energy. But then she did say that, because, okay, so there's been a lot of outrage online. I'm like, she's cheating on a man, blah, blah. But people are missing the fact that that's a patriarchal mindset where, like, men who provide for the family and do this and do that for carry the household, they're kind of excused when it comes to cheating. She basically just did what it is that the men do. But she actually said that it's a learned behavior. She said, like my dad before me, whoever has the most gets to do what they want. So that's where she learned it from. It's a learned behavior. She said that's basically what she thought. She did say that she wished she had more guilt about the situation. She said it was just a stupid relationship that should have never gotten out of the dating phase. She said we were gifted therapy, and the first session, the therapist was like, I don't know how you guys made it out of the dating phase. And she said that, she said at the time she was basically just horny for validation. And she said having certain kinds of guys who like me and want me, that made me feel like I was worthy and good and valuable. So it's a lot more to, the headlines that we've been seeing in the past day saying, that, she just was entitled. She felt she was entitled to cheat because she was earning the money. That's not the full story.
But wasn't the first thing she said was they both agreed that they didn't want to let their relationship come between them dating other people?
Yeah.
So was that at inception, or when did that rule come in?
I'm not sure, but I guess that's the way that they were.
Because if that was the way they were,
then
what's the problem? If they've both agreed that they don't want their relationship to get in the way of them dating other people, then they've essentially agreed to have an open relationship.
Yeah, but I think the way she said it sounds as though that was the attitude.
Okay.
We're dating, yes, we're together.
Yeah.
We're married, yes. And the attitude was, yes, we're married, yes, you're my girl, but I'm not going to let that. So I don't think it was like a spoken.
Was it something that he said, or something that they mutually agreed that we're not going to let our relationship get in the way of us dating other people?
No, I think that's more of a hindsight.
More of a hindsight statement.
Yeah. So I don't think they didn't go into it, because then if they went into it doing that, then he didn't cheat.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but I think it was more of a hindsight that when you look back and you're thinking the attitude of the relationship was like, yeah, we're dating, we're married, but we never you didn't want that to stop your single life kind of vibe. But yeah. So and she also talked about just her marriage what's different now with her marriage to Dwayne Wade, and she said over time we both had to commit to ourselves, and then through that inner work we randomly came back around as more healed people, and more understanding our complicity in some of the challenges that we've created for ourselves. I think obviously they've had their marriage challenges as well as time has gone by and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I thought it was a really interesting story. I think it was really, really good. And it's just, I thought it was really interesting. You okay there? You okay there?
No, sorry, don't be,
And then my last bit of news is to do with Love Island. Love Island is back on the 16th of January. You guys looking forward to it?
What? That's soon already?
What's back?
Love Island.
I'm not going to lie, I can't commit to watching it. I'm just going to put it out there right now.
I think we should have a highlight. Do you know what I mean? But we can talk about that off air. I was like, yeah. But yeah, so basically they've introduced this new series. Obviously, so it starts Monday, the 16th of January. The day after Minutes After 7's live show. So I bet you're all going to be there.
Yeah.
And it starts at 9 p.m. And of course, Maya Jama will be hosting it. So I'm really excited to see that actually. And they've introduced a new thing. So you see how like you have the social media account holders that will not, basically that's not happening anymore. So what they're advising contestants to do is to deactivate. When I think about it, your account is going to be raised forever. Because it's 30 days deactivation in it. On Twitter, on Twitter you can deactivate for 30 days. After 30 days, it gets deleted.
Oh, serious?
Permanently, yeah.
Maybe they're allowed to reactivate and then do it again.
Yeah, but why can't they just keep their account just dormant?
Because basically they're saying that, as in not tweet anything. No, because it's to avoid bullying. So I guess if people can't find them, you can't bully them.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically to avoid all that bullying stuff, all that trolling and that negativity. Sorry. So yeah, so basically, so there will be no social media account holders, and they're advising people to just basically leave their accounts, like deactivate it or do whatever they do. Actually, you might just leave it dormant, but that will still be the same thing because when you come out to it, it's coming out to those messages. I think that's what they're trying to prevent.
Yeah.
And they're also going to give them a lot of training in terms of how to deal with like trolls and how to deal with life outside of Love Island. Like when you come out, all that kind of stuff. And also because of I think Jax. But because of what happened with everything that happened last season with the misogyny and the controlling behavior and all that stuff, they're actually going to give them training like 2-3 times before they go into the house to know how to deal with people, to know how to deal with each other in terms of their gender, in terms of disability, in terms of race as well, and not be insensitive and know how to talk, and also to be able to recognize red flags early, recognize controlling behavior from early. So I think they're doing a lot to make sure things go better this time.
I think that's gonna affect their
Entertainment.
social media growth.
Yeah, definitely.
Because people are not going to be able to follow them in real time, innit? And after the show's done, you're going to care less about following them because they're not that polarizing, really. It's just about following them while the show's on.
Exactly.
When the show's done, it's like, do I care to follow them now? The show's over. So and
that's the thing,
It's going to affect their...
I think it's going to affect a lot. It's going to affect even that when you think about the brand deals and stuff like that. Because you're able to kind of go back on someone's social media and see how they dress and see what they like and see what brands align with them. I think it's going to affect a lot, but I reckon they'll do this and then they'll see how they get on in terms of next season. Because I think money-wise, because not many people are making money like that anyway. The people that are still trending anyway is Davide and Ekinsu, Tasha and Andrew. Andrew is... He came out of the house here. Buff guy, it's ridiculous. So I got distracted. What was I talking about? Ekinsu and Davide, Andrew and Tasha, and Damian, no, maybe let's call it Olivia, India. That's it. Those are the only people that people still care about. The other ones, we don't know. I mean, the other ones are trying to be relevant any which way they can. What's her name?
I don't see Love Islanders anyway, you know.
No.
Not even Ekin and Davide.
Yeah, you're going to cross paths with them though.
Yeah, for real.
They're too busy being cringe about the relationship. I wanted to break free from that. I don't like that for her anymore.
Did you say Andrew and Tasha are still popping?
They're still together. Got a promise ring and everything for winter.
No,
for Christmas.
Okay, so they're together, but like, do people care that?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
I don't. But people care because in terms of people that are still trending and stuff like that, people actually still follow.
Yeah.
Is those 6.
Okay.
I only follow India and Dami now. I don't follow Dami. I don't follow people's men. But I follow India. But I see her on Dami's page. I had to unfollow Ekin.
What?
Her and Davide's thing was too cringe. Like it just makes me ill, man. It's just too much. Like, oh, my king, shut up. And I don't feel like the relationship is authentic anymore.
Okay.
I feel like it's a contractual obligation now. It doesn't seem that it's not natural to me anymore. It doesn't. There's no spark there. I feel like sis is very tired. She's always traveling, always working, and he's just like he feels like a leech to me. Like he hasn't got much going on. She's got everything going on, and he's having to hang on to that. It's very uncomfortable to watch now. They did an interview where they were trying to kiss in mid sentences. I said, "Yep, that'll do it." Unfollow. But it should be interesting. I think it should be interesting. We'll see what happens. I'm not looking forward to the whole conversation about there's so many black women there and black women get picked last and blah 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 blah. Like, we'll see. But because of Maya Jama, definitely will be watching it. Definitely will be supporting because black excellence. But outside of that, that's it for me. Let's get into people's journal.
All right, people. Welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. So like I said earlier in the show, I wanted to speak about Rishi Sunak's 5 promises, right? And let's jump right into it. So the first thing is, he said, we're going to halve inflation this year to ease the cost of living and give people financial security.
I pray so.
That's the first promise that he said, yeah. Obviously, we know about the rising prices, the biggest challenges that everyone's pretty much facing right now and all that type of stuff, all due to inflation. We kind of spoke about this last month, how inflation's kind of gone down. Not by much, but it's still gone down. And hopefully people are kind of hoping that this will be an ongoing trend. And by, I guess, the final quarter of next year, this year, it will be considerably lower than it was, at the end of 2022. Some economists still think inflation has already peaked. Like I said, they think it's already peaked. Bank of England predicted that it's going to fall midway through the year. This is why a lot of people are kind of thinking, this is why he's talking about this being one of the promises, because he can kind of see this as being something that's kind of certain.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not certain, but at least some of the trends kind of point to inflation going down in it. So if he's saying half inflation this year to ease the cost of living, half in it, then yeah, I think that would be a great achievement, to be fair. Because I don't think at the start of this, people thought that would be the case, especially when they were kind of projecting that inflation could hit like 15 to 17% this time at this point in the year. Second thing is, he said, we're going to grow the economy, create better paid jobs and opportunities right across the country. Obviously, we've heard this whole growth thing. Liz Truss was talking about growth the whole time, for the entire 49 days that she was in office, right? But I think people obviously need to recognize the things that kind of stimulate growth. You have to create certain things, right? So it'll be interesting to see what he comes up with to kind of create these incentives, these opportunities to kind of facilitate this growth that he's talking about. And this whole creating better paid jobs and things of that nature, especially when at the moment they're very reluctant to increase the wages for a lot of the civil servants and people who are striking at the moment. The third thing is, he said, we will make sure our national debt is falling so that we can secure the future of public services. Again, when he came into power, actually just before him, when Jeremy Hunt came in, and then they gave us the whole autumn statement as well, they were talking about how they're going to cut back on certain spending and all these difficult choices that they're pretty much going to have to make and all this type of stuff. Obviously, as we know, when Rishi was a chancellor, especially during the whole back and forth about who's going to be the next prime minister after Boris, people were really kind of bigging up Rishi Sunak's economic brain, basically. So I think this kind of lends to that, and hopefully he's hoping, I guess, that the decisions he makes economically will actually lead to the national debt falling, and hoping that people actually won't challenge him too much on that, because obviously he's got kind of experience in that arena. The fourth thing is NHS waiting lists will fall and people will get the care they need more quickly. Again, NHS is one of the biggest challenges that Mr. Sunak's going to be facing, the government's facing. Just yesterday, we spoke about how the health minister, I think what's his name, Barkley, came out and spoke about how flu and COVID is basically killing NHS at the moment. So how he's going to tackle this, I'm not too sure. Hopefully, it's not going to be at the expense of the actual care of people who need the NHS. But he hasn't really come out with any type of plan of how he's going to do it yet. But yeah, that's the fourth thing anyway. The fifth promise is that we will pass new laws to stop small boats, making sure that if you come to this country illegally, you are detained and swiftly removed. So obviously, following on from what Miss Priti Patel was trying to do, and exactly, Suella Braverman as well. This guy's serious, man. This guy's serious. So yeah, he's trying to send people back to Poland and send new people to Rwanda to have new lives over there, not in the UK. So again, he hasn't kind of set out how he's necessarily going to do that, because there's a lot of backlash on the method in which the government will go about doing this. And journalists during the speech, not during the speech, but afterwards anyway, kind of asked for some targets, innit? But he hasn't set out any clear targets on for stopping or reducing the number of small boats that are attempting to cross the channel. So I guess we're gonna just use ballpark figures, I guess, in it. So anyway, those are the 5 things that he spoke about in his speech. Next thing I want to talk about is kind of a continuation about the whole COVID thing, the COVID checks for China arrivals. Like I said earlier in the first headline, the EU officials are kind of recommending that EU countries start doing this, right? And Ghana and Morocco have started. So basically, those are the first African countries to impose travel restrictions on passengers from China.
Ghana?
Yeah, Ghana and Morocco. So from Tuesday, Morocco, they've banned travellers from China, regardless of their nationality, until further notice.
You don't
right?
play, boy. That's good.
This is what I'm saying. I'm proud of them. Exactly. So the foreign ministry said that the move is aimed to prevent a spike in infections in the country, this, that, and the third. Ghana's restrictions are going to take place on Friday, right? And as we know, this is all because China. How can I mix?
You said Guyana, you know.
Terrible.
The other country.
It's all because China abruptly dropped the whole COVID-19 controls in December. Remember, everyone was kind of protesting and stuff like that. So the government just thought, okay, you know, this is enough. And I guess the way they did it is what's making everybody kind of concerned that obviously COVID is still an issue there, but you just dropped these restrictions because of how the people are reacting towards it, and not necessarily because COVID is going down, right? The next thing is, and this is kind of some excellence here. Notice I just said excellence, but
because it's white, isn't it?
But Algeria is looking to launch insulin production. So again, so they're looking to start manufacturing insulin. And this particular move is expected to significantly reduce the cost of importing the drug used to manage diabetes, as we all know, right? So, yeah, man, apparently, but one of their spokespersons came out and basically said the validation process has been completed and the unit is ready to start manufacturing insulin from the 15th of this month, right? So they built this new unit. The Algerian company called BioCare sorted this out. Apparently, importing insulin costs the Algerian government $425 million last year. So by doing this in-house, basically, essentially, the local production is estimated to cover 50% of that demand. So this is a great move, man. It's a great move. Apparently, at least 15% of Algeria's population, which is 2.8 million people, are diabetic, which is crazy.
That's mad.
15%, yeah, which is crazy. They estimate that the number could actually double by the year 2030. So that is just...
That's wild.
That's just crazy, yeah. You might imagine almost a third of your population have diabetes.
But then that's amazing then, because then you don't have to depend on anybody else to supply you.
100%. So it's good. Like I always say, like it's good to tackle problem from both ends, isn't it? So if they can definitely, reduce their debt and the expenditure by producing insulin back home, but also they need to obviously look at how people are eating. You know what I'm saying? And especially for the diabetes that is curable. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of these things could be prevented. Obviously,
15%.
15%, yeah.
On what's the food?
No, will be by 2030.
Oh.
So they're saying that will double, yeah, potentially. So, yes, that's that situation. In Zambia as well, Zambia's power utility, Zesco Limited, they've announced crippling 12-hour electricity blackouts until further notice. So the country is just going to be without bloody electricity in Zambia. Yeah, so this was yesterday. So they announced that it's going to be 12-hour electricity blackouts until further notice. They're basically rationing the electricity. We spoke about this potentially happening in this country. Obviously, it's one of those things where people just don't expect it to ever occur in it. Obviously, the UK is very different from Zambia. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to Zambia anyway. But it just shows about the reality of what's going on around the world. And also, the next thing I want to talk about is in Kenya. And I've got two more things. But basically, Kenya, there was this whole thing going around that how there's a shortage of condoms in Kenya. Yes.
Oh, no.
But yeah, Kenya's Ministry of Health has assured the nation that there are enough condoms following weeks of reported shortages.
Can you imagine putting an embargo on, like, I don't know if embargo is the word, but like, you're only allowed 2 condoms a week. You gotta choose. You gotta be careful, boy. You gotta choose that sensibly.
Very careful.
Oh.
Yeah, man. But apparently, 38 million condoms were ready for distribution. adding that supply challenges were to blame for the regions experiencing shortages. So there were some shortages, but it wasn't one of those crazy things where the whole country is going to be like, you know what I mean, like done at it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they've sorted that out. And
It's funny what different nations are going through, isn't it?
yeah. No, but it's a real thing though, especially back home, man. Like certain things, like this is why I mentioned it, because certain things are like real issues, man.
I can't imagine getting a
You know what I'm
condom back
saying?
from back home. I'd be so embarrassed.
Mm.
The judgment. I've heard, actually, no man. I've heard the girls talking about when they try and get like a morning after pill and stuff like that. And the answers are just like,
Looking at them.
like, why are you having sex? Ah, dear. That's so funny.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do, man. But yeah, Kenya's debt as well. So the Kenyan president said that the country is not gonna default on its debt, right? In the face of severe economic challenges. A lot of African countries are obviously going through certain things at the moment, right? But he's come out, William Ruto, he's the president, and told journalists, right, that they've kind of stopped on the borrowing.
Okay.
So again, as long as they can obviously still make the country function as it should, this borrowing, stopping this
good.
borrowing is a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, but wish more countries to do that.
This is it. Exactly.
Enslaved to the white man.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, when he took over last year in September, his government said that they're going to cut expensive commercial borrowing in favor of cheaper sources, such as the World Bank and stuff like that, innit? And like other African countries, their credit rating was at risk of being downgraded because of the rise in debt and, you know, the crazy global interest rates and stuff like that. So him coming in and actually, I guess, keeping his word and kind of stopping with the borrowing is a beautiful thing. And the last thing is also in Kenya, big up Kenya. And this is kind of a more of a light-hearted thing. And this is people kind of criticizing the same president's daughter because she's come out and apparently she's been holding several like high-profile events. She's been having certain meetings, trying to better herself and things like that.
Woman in business.
But the reason, the funny thing about it is because she kind of calls herself Office of the First Daughter.
Office of the First.
Yeah, so she's got that title, like Office of. So you know how you got like First Lady and stuff like that.
But hers as well.
Office of the First Daughter. So she's called herself the First Daughter.
Yeah.
But there's no title though. It's not real.
I'm making one. You think if my dad was a president or something, I'm not walking as such.
Yeah, well, there you go.
He worked hard. He crawled so I could walk. I am walking as first daughter.
But are you gonna have a label?
Yes. I have a little flag on my car and everything. That's to be fair, we're traveling with security anyway. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well,
that's part of my intro.
This is what she was doing, man. And people were talking about it. So the president even had to come out, imagine, and basically say, look, this is what he said. Leave my daughter Charlene alone.
Like,
you know these are kids. They're just being children. You know very well that there's no such office. She's just being the daughter of William Ruto, and sometimes she doesn't know the divide between the president and the father. But you're just, you know what I mean, like supporting her, bigging her up, kind of.
I went to as a first daughter, I went to my dad off for that. Don't embarrass me.
That last line, innit?
Don't undermine my title in public. People need to tell your dad to work hard and become president. You can have a title.
Do you know what the thing is? I think it's because she has that official title. Well, at least claims to have some first daughter title. Yeah, people are basically saying she's using taxpayers' money to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? So just like if you were the first lady of the president, you'll be doing certain things using taxpayers' money.
I don't think she's throwing parties with taxpayers' money.
Yeah, but not throwing parties, but these events and meetings and things of that nature. But anyway, long story short, she's come out and said, no, it's not the case. The Office of the First Daughter is a private entity. It's neither a constitutional office, nor is it being funded by the Kenyan taxpayer.
And that's
so
all they need
basically,
to know.
mind your business.
Mind your business. I love that. I think first daughter should be a thing.
Kenyans are so backwards, man.
Why?
The rest of the world is there allowing people to identify as anything, but we can't identify.
Exactly. Like,
God
I
damn.
actually think that should be a first. Are you sure? No, it is a thing. Because in America, I remember Obama's family was the first family. They referred to them as the first family.
Yeah, but it's not an official something.
Well, hello. Publication said it.
Well, maybe in America it's official, but back home in Kenya it's not official.
We got the first daughters, man. We got the real first daughters in African households. Me and my other sisters.
Yeah,
it's hard for us.
There you go,
But
man.
no, man, I love it.
So yeah, big up Kenya, man. Kenya are doing some good things, man.
I'm gonna check out what she looks like on the gram.
Yeah, Charlene
I hope she's
Ruto.
giving. What's her name?
Charlene Ruto.
I hope she's giving first daughter vibes. How do you spell her last name? Ruto.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that's the end of the People's Journal, people.
Thank you. Let's get into woke or joke.
All right, people. So, woke or joke, yeah? this probably, I have a suspicion that this is going to be a quick one. But tell me what you guys think, yeah. Do you feel like we're going back into lockdown? It's basically about COVID, yeah. Do you feel like right now we're kind of seeing
signs?
Yeah, little things bubbling where it's like we're going to be going back into lockdown.
Do you know what I think the
because of
conspiracy
COVID?
is? I think that COVID will increase and it will be a case where we do need to go back in lockdown.
Okay.
But because of the economy, they're going to let people die instead.
What signs have we been seeing?
China and them.
Yeah, that's
China.
That's basically one of them.
That's not a sign. That's a whole different country. They're
I
doing
mean,
their own
yeah,
thing. What
This
signs have
is
we seen over
Oh,
here?
this is deja vu. That's exactly what people said.
You see?
When they first reported COVID, people were like, that's over there.
Yeah,
And then what happened after?
No,
we were in
no,
lockdown
no,
for
no,
2 years.
no, no. You saying there's signs that we're going to go in lockdown. Signs that, because China's...
Because that's where it originated from.
No, but China's lockdown rules have been different this whole time.
But
They,
right
they,
now-
they,
And
they
still-
call it on whenever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That, and they've been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is, how's that a sign for us?
Because
Yeah.
they've been doing all of that and it's still on the increase to the
And-
point where,
yes,
go on.
sorry, and they've stopped all of that now.
Look at that.
They're basically saying, be free.
Be free with the COVID, even though the COVID is still present.
This is it.
No, I think COVID cases may increase, but I don't think we'll go down to a lockdown again. I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to a lockdown now.
It don't make no sense.
Even though
We won't.
Barclay, the health minister, is saying, like, it's killing the NHS. COVID and
We
flu
will
is
not-
killing the NHS.
But we can't because
yeah,
the
but why-
economy is too
flu's
bad.
always
But flu's
right.
always been around though.
No, but
And they're
COVID
cooking.
too?
They're cooking the books. They are. Honestly, yeah. Unless there's if a new strain comes, yeah, and they start doing all that new strain stuff, yeah, then all right, cool, fair play. Then I can see where you're coming from.
Okay.
If it's the same shit that's been going
Going
around.
around. We're used to that. And I feel like we're kind of immune to that.
We're straight now. It's like cold. If you got COVID, you got COVID. And you know what the rules are. You know how it works, man. If you got COVID, stay in your ass clout yard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Same.
I mean, come on, man. For the most part, everybody's vaccinated and that. Like, there's no point in doing all this foolishness. Like, just allow it, man.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad, but not glad to say. There's a new strain.
It's what everyone's been having recently, right?
telling
It
you.
is, isn't it?
This new
I knew
strain.
it.
Yeah, it's
I knew
out.
it.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's IXBB something.
Yeah, because the flu people have been having recently has been mad and it's giving them like chest infections and it's just staying there for weeks. But I don't think we're going to go into another
don't think
lockdown.
lockdown,
We
no.
can't afford to go into another lockdown. I think they're just going to let people die. It helps every
We've
market.
experienced COVID for long enough to know what to do in terms of what measures to take,
Okay.
how to prevent the spread. I
Yeah.
feel like lockdown is an extreme like we don't need to go back into. So I think
That's a good point.
yeah.
Because lockdown was to help us figure out how to deal with it actually. Yeah. We didn't know
Remember
what to do.
the first time it broke out in China, it was new,
Yes.
so we didn't know how to deal with it. Yeah, we've had the whole 2-3 years of knowing how to deal with it.
Experience.
So lockdown, I don't believe is the first protocol.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good point.
I
But knowing how to deal with something is different to actually having the capacity to deal with it.
Yeah.
So if they're saying, for example, like if we have everyone wearing masks,
Yeah.
if you come into certain hospitals, we could do this for you, this and the third, that's fine. But if they're saying the hospitals can't deal with this,
Yeah.
so guys, like to prevent NHS collapsing, stay at home. Which
Well,
is
stay
the
at home
first
to do
step
what? What are we staying at home to do?
to prevent the spread. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying if they say this. And by the way,
Sorry,
go
because
on.
even when we were in lockdown, obviously, granted, I know what I'm saying doesn't fully make sense. But even when we were in lockdown, NHS was still under pressure. NHS has been under pressure since the beginning of time. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think a lockdown to spread it, that is really going to crash the economy. We think that I feel like for the sake of the economy, they're not going to put us in lockdown. They can't.
Okay. I just wanted to say, yeah,
You had to help out and all that crap. In doing that.
that was Sunak, by the way, remember? But
Oh,
yeah,
look at that. Oh.
yeah. The new variant, the new strain is called XBB.
Sorry to cut you. What was that again? Like buy one get one free or something?
He had to help
Yeah,
out, yeah.
Yeah, what was it? Like?
50% thing.
Yeah, 50% off food and all sorts. It was great.
Yeah, I see man going another coffin. That.
We were going Hakkasan, yeah, because everyone was doing it.
Yeah, you might as
Everyone
well, man.
needed it.
Yeah, I was enjoying as well.
Vegan dishes.
Of course.
Always.
But yeah, this new variant is called XBB 1.5.
Okay, they're being silly. Just call it like Omarion or something. I don't know.
Basically, it's an offshoot of the Omicron variant. Apparently, it's similar to that one. But yeah, symptoms are kind of too early to confirm how it's going to be affecting people, if it's more infectious or dangerous than the earlier variants, right? But another thing I want to kind of touch on is, even if we don't go into a lockdown, so let's just say you guys are right, no lockdown will happen. Do you feel like the wearing of masks and that could potentially come back?
I think it should, yeah.
And if it does come back, do you feel like there's an agenda?
No.
The masks don't do nothing.
Exactly.
But people are dirty because the other day, I just see people, sometimes I see people cough, yeah. Like they just cough, like no cover, they just cough and just let it just marinate in the air.
You know, people have been coughing from the beginning
Dirty.
of time, man. Like,
No, they have, but now it's just distasteful now.
And notice, funny, in China and them places there, they all wear the mask, innit?
They've always been wearing masks.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, they've been wearing masks.
And that's where COVID was rampant. So what's the mask doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, them masks ain't doing nothing. Bring it back.
So if we know that, yeah, because basically there was an article by a guy called Peter Hitchens. I'm not sure if you guys know him. Yeah, he's a brother of Christopher Hitchens. He's that well-known. Well, he's passed away now. But he was a well-known atheist guy, always battling Muslim, Christian debaters and stuff like this. Yeah. So this guy Peter Hitchens, who's actually a Christian, but anyway, he's come out, yeah, and basically said, he quoted one of the heads. Where's this thing? The executive director of the World Health Organization, right? And that person basically said in 2020 that there's no specific evidence to suggest the wearing of masks by the mass population has any potential benefit. In fact, there's evidence to suggest the opposite in the misuse of wearing a mask properly or fitting it properly. So if we know this, right, why are they going to insist that we wear masks? Is there an agenda here?
No, it's just.
What's the agenda?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's just to keep us clean,
What would
man.
be the agenda?
I don't know. Some type of mind control.
It is just to appease the people to make it feel like they're doing something.
Because you know,
when they tell you things, when they tell you things, people believe them, innit? Everyone just takes them as gospel, innit? So when there's stuff going on, they don't know, and they want to ease the mindsets of the people. Wherever they say, "Oh, don't wear that, put the mask on, more woman." And there's people some people ain't coming out their yard without the mask.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. That's the peace of mind that they need. It's because these men told me I'm straight with this. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
It's true actually, yeah, because it does make them feel like they're doing something. Because when they're not doing something, people obviously criticize, and that's how they call Sunak's government useless now.
Yeah.
So I guess to make the people think.
The thing is, if they don't
they got to
want,
be seen to be doing something. All them measures were bullshit. Social
I know, but
distancing.
if you don't want to go into lockdown, you have to put something in place, innit? So I guess that's the next best thing, innit? Distancing, masks. You can't just be a government and don't implement anything.
That's what I'm saying, because they have to be seen to be doing something.
Yeah. So you think that could be
But just if, like you're saying, you can't be doing nothing. But if they honestly didn't really do anything, then it's just token gesture, like kind of thing. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's not even. Yeah, they couldn't have done nothing. Telling me, oh, only 3 of us could sit at this table, and we can't cross, and one at a time, but we're all in this building. And the mask. What was it? It didn't stop nothing. Like it was all foolishness.
Yeah, the whole
honestly.
Yeah, the whole table shit. That was all bullshit.
But like I'm saying, they had to be seen
That
to be
was
doing
actually
something.
stupid. Because we're all literally, there's 100 of us here.
Isn't
We're
it?
on a table of 4.
That was stupid.
That was so dumb. That was so dumb.
And it's
when you
got
think about it,
before
it's the
because
same way.
COVID knows if it's
Yeah.
fine. If
And
it's
you know what's
fine,
funny as well?
COVID about to go
COVID knows
crazy.
it's about to go crazy. And you know what's funny as well? Is that you order on your table, yeah, but it's the same waitresses doing every other table.
Yeah.
The same waitresses are carrying glasses from that other table that I'm not allowed to talk to or be with, but then bringing that same tray to my table. That was dumb.
Yeah. So yeah, do you feel like yeah, it's
Silly, man.
crazy.
Yeah, but who's more stupid?
What do you mean?
Well, the people who make the rules and people who believe the rules. Everybody.
I don't listen to the rules. So
Everybody.
I'm never stupid. And I've
go.
done what I wanted to do the whole of lockdown. So more
I
for
don't think
you,
people
right?
believe in the rules. They're just following suit.
See, this is the thing. Is that not dangerous then? Because like I feel as though governments on a regular test to see if they've got control of the people. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a boxer, yeah? You're fainting to see if that boxer moves so that at any given time you can do some next thing. You know what I'm saying? This could be one of those things. We know the masks don't work, at least based on what certain people are saying, yet we're
Here we
going to
are.
maybe force the people to
Yeah.
all start wearing masks again.
I was
But
on
again, I
a
think-
train or something.
Yeah.
I could have been on the train and I was looking and I was saying, swear like it's finally done that. Out of a whole carriage, there was like one person with a train on. I mean, with a mask on. Everybody else was like, I'm done now. Not a few months. Obviously, it's probably a bit longer than that. But before though, that train is jam packed with masks. Like everybody.
To be fair, though, I had moments where I didn't really want to wear the mask. I mean, it depends on what day you catch me. If I'm not wearing makeup, that's cool. If I've beat my face, I'm sorry. I can't. But also, my thing was, I didn't mind that because when I got on the train, for example, everyone else is wearing a mask. Technically, I don't need to because everyone's wearing a mask. Do you know what I mean? Like, wherever disease is meant to be out there, I'm protected from it because you're all following the rules. I think that's a lovely ringtone. Very calming.
My phone doesn't even ring, bro. That's my watch.
I'm going to make that my alarm. My alarm is too aggressive.
Yeah. Can't be that calm. It's not going to wake you up.
It will.
I'm
a light sleeper. I hear stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember how she sleeps.
You remember how I sleep?
Yeah, she lucid dreams every night. She can control her actions.
I'm aware.
She's thinking about next week and her sleep's different. I remember.
Yeah. One of our first bonding moments, wasn't it? Yeah. When you knew I was crazy. Ay.
All right. Well, okay. So to wrap up,
Yeah.
do you guys feel like there's some wokeness to this, or is this all a joke thing?
What's the question? So going to lockdown?
Yes. Do you feel
Going
like
to lockdown is a joke?
Yeah.
It's a joke.
They can't do it because of
That's
this
not gonna happen.
cost of living.
Yeah.
A lot of people, even people who might think, if they lock everything down, I'm going to save money. You're not, because the energy crisis
It's gonna get you.
it's gonna get
for
you.
real.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So they couldn't do it. I don't think.
And I'll be honest with you, I cannot do home workouts again. I can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't.
long. Yeah.
I can't explain how sick I was of working out from home. I did well there every day.
Can't do press ups in my bedroom, man. Makes me feel like I'm in prison again.
Like
Honestly,
burpees.
it's
Like,
just-
I was burpeed. I hated burpees for lockdown. Big up Gina. I ended up loving burpees by the end of lockdown because I had no choice. And I had to burp all the way, wouldn't I? Bloody ridiculous. But I think lockdown is definitely a joke.
Okay.
I think COVID increasing, that's woke.
Yeah, that's definitely
Like
happening.
making a comeback as in actually, do you remember there was that whole fear that this winter would be the worst?
Yes. Yep.
We're nearly done. It's nearly spring.
Not really though. 'cause
2
remember,
months away from spring.
2 months. A lot can happen in 2 months. You know.
To be fair, that whole flu thing has been getting people, but he hasn't got any of us in this room.
Yes.
And that's great.
True indeed.
Do you know, I'm going to go on a limb and say joke for everything.
Joke for everything. Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys?
That's how I'm
joke?
feeling today.
Are we going back into lockdown? No, I think it's a joke.
Okay. And
Will COVID cases increase? Maybe. But I don't think we're going lockdown.
No, we can't afford to do that. That'd be mad. The
Yeah,
economy is still recovering from the first one.
Yeah, I think they know they can't.
They can't.
okay.
They would rather see hella people die than go back into another lockdown.
And what about the masks thing? Do you think we're going to see it increase in everyone
But the
wearing
thing is,
masks?
are the masks a big deal? I don't see even you saying, is it control? Like, what is it a big deal? You either
mean, to
wear a
some
mask
people,
or
yeah.
you don't wear a mask. The masks are not really enforced. I've never been approached by anyone to say, "Where's your mask?"
Really?
No. Maybe that's
would
just that's just my experience. Obviously,
Yeah.
airport.
You probably
It's
had your
different.
mask on all the time then.
No.
You didn't
Oh,
go
do you know
no.
what it
You didn't
is?
go nowhere there.
No, do you know, it's- no, it's-
They'd be telling me to put my mask on all the time,
Where?
everywhere,
I was always
where?
getting cautioned.
everywhere. Because I'm really
Do you know, to be fair, I think
everywhere.
it's
They'd
your-
be
I
telling
think
me
it's
to
your
put my
physique.
mask on.
Yeah, innit? You just
Because it's
give
funny
them-
because
You look more intimidating than me. That's what it is. Yeah, if I look at you, they weren't going to tell me to put my mask on.
Because my brother said the same thing. He was never asked to put his mask on.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'll be there, they'll be like, excuse me, miss. Like, first of all. Yeah. I think,
No, but what I mean is,
good
is the wearing of the mask a big deal?
It's for me, man. I don't like it.
That's the thing. Personally, I feel like people make a fuss over it. I don't think it's a big deal
As in to wear it or to not to wear it.
either. I
Okay.
think to wear it is not a big deal. It's not like they're asking you to do something that's so challenging or.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
In a way, I feel like people are naturally just
Deviant.
they have pushbacks in it.
I didn't mind it.
I don't think it's a big deal at all. I feel like if you,
I'm not wearing masks. I'm balling up. I will look like K-Trap.
I feel like if you're super like,
You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm not even. You can just see my eyes, hair. I've just got the belly on. It's like, you not said this is what you told me to do, so fine. I
you
just
walk
wear
into an
it.
establishment and they ask you to wear your mask and you're pushing back and you're arguing, I feel to me, you're being an idiot. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Put your mask on. Okay, that's it. It's not.
What you gotta do. I get you. Yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
in a particular establishment, if they want this thing, then
Yeah.
you got to comply. But to me, it's the whole setting up a precedent, man. You're just telling me to do something. That whole control thing and taking people's freedoms, I have an issue with it, especially if there's no bloody scientific evidence.
It's funny because
Not enough, anyway.
When people talk about taking the freedom, what you want freedom to have COVID whenever you want to?
No, to do what I want.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
but the
people
thing
are
is-
wearing a mask
Put the
like
mask
below
on,
their
Jerry.
nose, you
You know
know.
what? I think,
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
but I think there's bigger
Right
battles.
here.
There's bigger battles to have.
Yeah, to have freedom for.
to be had in terms of freedom. Wearing a mask is not where I act like, oh my god, they're telling me what to do. I haven't got no rights. It's just a mask, and it's not the most craziest request in the world.
I hear you, but it's where it starts, though. This is the thing. Like, there's been countless things in the past where you give them an inch, man, before you know it.
Take a mile, man.
I'm telling you. But yeah. Anyway,
Give them too much rope, they start hanging people.
100%.
All right. You need to have a book of your sayings. Honestly, you really do.
I'm gonna start noting them down.
Oh, I've got an idea for you.
Right, let's
Go
go.
after.
Cool.
Your
Well,
next headlines?
Yes, let's do it. All right. So the next headline is about PPE Medpro. We kind of spoke about this before, some months back. And the UK government has accused a company linked to the Conservative peer, Michelle Mone, of supplying defective gowns that could have been compromised. That could have compromised the safety of patients that had used it in the NHS. The Department of Health and Social Care, DHSC, paid the company PPE Medpro £122 million for 25 million sterile surgical gowns under a contract awarded in June of 2020 after Mone first approached ministers offering to supply PPE. However, the DHSC has alleged that the gowns were rejected because they were not sterile. Their technical labelling was invalid and improper, and they cannot be used within the NHS for any purpose. Right? They paid 122 million for this. The DHSC's allegations will add to the intense public and political pressure on Mone over her apparent involvement in PPE Medpro after the Guardian reported in November that leaked bank documents indicated that she and 3 of her adult children had secretly received £29 million originating from the company's profits on the government's PPE deals. Mone has previously denied via her lawyers that she has had any involvement in the company, despite having first approached Michael Gove in May of 2020, offering to supply PPE through, as she says, my team in Hong Kong, and the Guardian reporting last year, based on leaked files, that she did appear to have been secretly involved. A lawyer has also said that she did not declare PPE Medpro on her Lord's Register of Interests because, as she says, as they say, she did not benefit financially and was not connected to PPE Medpro in any capacity. Mone, who's the founder of the lingerie brand Ultimo, was appointed to the House of Lords by David Cameron in 2015. The sterility of the surgical gowns PPE Medpro was contracted to supply is vital and governed by extensive technical laws and regulations because such gowns are used to protect patients from infection in critical medical settings such as operating theatres. The DHSC's allegations that the gowns were not sterile are set out in court documents, yeah? So these have been seen by The Guardian and stuff, where we've got this article. And basically it was served on PPE Medpro, served to PPE Medpro as part of the government's legal action launched last month to recover its money. So like I said earlier, the DHSC is seeking a return of the full £122 million in public money and a further £11.6 million for storing and disposing of the gowns, plus interest. I don't know how, they haven't got this money back already, especially if they didn't even use it. But anyway, next headline, trigger warnings. Some sad news that happened in Somalia. A family of 9 were killed in a double car bombing in central Hiran province of Somalia. A further 26 people were also killed. The Al-Qaeda linked group Al-Shabaab has said that it was behind the attacks, and they've come out and admitted it. The district commissioner of Mahas town said that his home and that of local MPs were the targets. Meanwhile, the second explosion targeted the market, right? The blasts were so powerful that witnesses said that people far away from the explosion sites were wounded by flying fragments. Al-Shabaab has been losing ground in recent months after the president, Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, pledged total war against the Islamist militants in August following an attack on the popular Mogadishu hotel, which saw more than 20 people die. 2 months later, twin car bomb explosions near a busy junction in Mogadishu killed at least 100 people. Al-Shabaab also said it was behind that attack. We also spoke about this on TDA 2 months ago. 2 months ago, pardon me. President Mohammed subsequently mobilized the Somali army and the government-backed clan and militias in a bid to take villages and towns back from Al-Shabaab, which controls large swaths of the country. Despite their loss of territory, Al-Shabaab has continued to carry out attacks in central and southern Somalia. Both African Union forces and US funds have been allocated to assist Somalia in its fight against Al-Shabaab. And the last headline is basically about an ancient Egyptian coffin being returned from America to Egypt. So a looted ancient Egyptian sarcophagus that was on display at a US museum has been returned to Egypt. The 2.9 meter long green coffin dates back to the late dynastic period, which spanned between 664 BC to 332 BC, and apparently belonged to a priest called Akon Ma'at. It was looted by the Abu Sir necropolis in North Egypt by a global art trafficking network, which smuggled it through Germany into the US in 2008. A collector loaned it to the Houston Museum of Natural Sciences in 2013. The sarcophagus was repatriated after an investigation that lasted several years and was formally handed over by US diplomats at a ceremony in Cairo on Monday. The event was attended by Egypt's Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and Tourist and Antiquities Minister Ahmed Issa. So the US charged the affairs in Egypt, a guy by the name of Daniel Rubenstein. He came out and basically said, today's ceremony is emblematic of the long history of cooperation between the United States and Egypt on antiquities protection and cultural heritage preservation. Mr. Issa said that the return of the sarcophagus showed Egypt's strenuous efforts to recover smuggled artifacts. In September, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg said that the green coffin, which was valued at over $1 million, which is £830,000, was illegally trafficked out of Egypt by a multinational network of antiquities smugglers. The network was also responsible for trafficking the gold coffin, which was returned to Egypt in 2019, which was the stele of Padisena, which was also from the late dynastic period and was handed over in 2020, and 5 pieces seized from New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art last year. The US is not the only country to have returned antiquities to Egypt recently. In 2021, Israel handed over 95 relics which had been smuggled into the country or found for sale in Jerusalem. Last month, a university in the Republic of Ireland said it was planning to repatriate a sarcophagus, a mummified human remains, and also canopic jars. And that's the end of the headlines.
Thank you very much. Let's get into our sports headlines. Let's get into the reaction.
Welcome to the reaction, Esther's favourite part of the show.
I love it.
I don't know what you thought was going to happen after the World Cup, but I told you, football don't stop. It's going to come thick and fast. Yeah, sorry, I was just sending Brent something. Let's get into these. Headlines. So, at the gate, Spurs give Palace a beating. Heung-min Son broke his goal drought and Harry Kane scored twice as Tottenham beat Crystal Palace 4-0 at Selhurst Park. To use a sporting cliche, it was a game of two halves for Spurs. Antonio Conte was looking for a reaction from his side after a draw against Brentford and a defeat to Aston Villa since the league restarted after the World Cup. They were run ragged by an impressive Palace in the opening 45 minutes, who themselves were looking to atone for an abysmal 3-0 defeat to Fulham in their last home outing. But as has often been the story for the Eagles, they failed to take their chances as Tottenham's quality began to shine through in the second half. Kane, on his 300th Premier League appearance, nodded Spurs ahead in the 48th minute. He swept home his second 5 minutes later, taking him to within 2 goals of Jimmy Greaves' all-time scoring record for Tottenham, which is 266. The pressure had been on Son too, as he continued to struggle in front of goal. He thought he had nabbed an assist for Matt Doherty's goal 68, but his cross took a deflection of Nathaniel Klein on the way through. The South Korea forward soon broke his 8-game barren run in the 72nd minute, linking up with the strike partner Kane for yet another Spurs goal. It was a fine volley from round off excellent evening for Spurs. Basically, yeah, these lot have got the most goal assist contributions in Premier history, innit?
What? Kane
Son and Kane.
Yeah.
And just done it again. They're different. I was going to say he's good, my man scoring again, but you probably don't feel like that, do you?
Who, Kane?
Son, 8 goals.
No, I
8
like
games, 9
Son,
goals.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though I don't like Tottenham, there's certain players I like Son.
Is that your next game?
Yeah. That's on this game.
It's in Premier League game.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
On the 15th. Hoping we win it. Really.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we win it. I feel like we want to bounce back from the Newcastle game. What's Spurs' last couple of games? Trying to see if they're in good form or not.
That was a good one. No, they lost the game before. They're not necessarily in good form. I wouldn't say they are.
Is this at Emirates or just that thingy?
It's at Tottenham Stadium.
Okay.
Because you beat them at Emirates, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did beat them at Emirates.
Yeah, you beat them at Emirates already. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you batter them. If they're gonna get a result from you anywhere, it will be at home. But I reckon you batter them. They're shit, man. But anyway, let's get into our other headlines. Leeds 2, West Ham 2. West Ham ended their 5-match losing run with a deserved point in a 2-2 draw at Leeds. Wilfred and... how are we saying this?
Is that how we saying
Wilfred Nonto.
Yeah,
Nonto. G silent.
G silent. Just like lasagna.
Exactly.
Wilfred Nonto rifled in the opener just before half hour for his first Leeds goal before Lucas Pasquetta opened his account for West Ham with a VAR awarded penalty moments before the break. West Ham found themselves in front 45 seconds after the restart when Brendan Aronson's poor pass was pounced on by Gianluca Scamacca, who bent in the stunning second past the helpless Ilan Messier. Leeds bounced back again and deservedly levelled through Rodrigo, who netted his 10th goal of the season 20 minutes from time with a smart finish. The Holes pushed for a late winner, but were forced to settle for a point, while West Ham finally ended their losing streak, but are still searching for their first win since October. I didn't watch that game. Was they up at 2-1 at one point?
Who, West Ham?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, man. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they were.
They were, innit?
Yeah.
No.
West Ham.
Leeds was 2-1. West Ham came back.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then that's cool.
I think
Then.
so.
West Ham are having a horrid
Leeds
season, bro.
just-
They've lost 11 games.
They was good last year as well.
Yeah, they're 17th.
I see the stories breaking yesterday. They're talking about my man's got like 3 games to save his job in that.
Who's the manager again?
David Moyes.
Oh yeah. West Ham
Football's mad. It's proper swings and roundabouts because whatever's happened in his career, yeah, that run that he put together with West Ham last year was solid. You get me? Like good, certified him, solidified him. Obviously, you want to move on, crack on, and whatnot. Yeah. Took a little turn for the worse, going through a little rubbish patch. Now man is saying he's got 3 games to save his job, but it's like, how can you not go from one extreme to another? Like, what's out there? Like, what direction? What are you not going for that you could be prepared to sack him and then go where? And then do what? And what makes you think it's going to be any... Do you get what I mean? Like, why is it going to be any better? Like, it's too volatile, this managerial thing.
Yeah, and on paper, their team's improved. On paper.
So that's probably why his head's on the chopping block.
Yeah,
we give you money, the team's improved, you're supposed to be doing better. It's a results business. Don't get me wrong, I understand that, but it's like, it's the same calendar year that he was doing good for you. So like, you know what I'm trying to say? That surely you want to give him a chance. Give him some time.
Yeah, no, you would think so, innit? But, you know, I think West Ham, the owners, they kind of see more for the club, innit?
Well, keeping on West
Giving people
Ham.
time.
What's that?
Giving people time.
What about it? Speaking of giving people time.
Is that what you guys do?
What, United? We don't do knee-jerk reactions. Obviously, since Sir Alex gone, it's been a bit...
No, you had a lot of managers since.
David Moyes went too early. Mourinho went too early. Oli got given time.
What about
Van Gaal? Van Gaal won an FA Cup. They mugged Van Gaal, but I think because they wanted...
They actually churn out managers like mad.
We don't. We had one manager for 30-something years. And then...
Yeah, but we're talking about after Ferguson. We're talking about after Ferguson. You lot have had, what, 6 managers, 7 managers?
No, it's like 4.
You had...
Moyes.
LVG.
Jose. Solskjaer. That's it.
Solskjaer.
4.
Eric Ten Hag.
That's the...
And then who's the guy before Eric Ten Hag?
No, he's interim. He don't count.
No, interim count.
Interims don't count.
Interim counts, man. I thought there was someone else.
Ralph Ragnick.
He was there for a little bit, no? Like
Michael Carrick.
Carrick, that's bare
The
man.
interim, they don't allow it, man. They don't count.
I've counted them. That's bare man, bro. That's a lot of man. That's bare man. Also, we have our next 2 games is against Spurs and United.
Is it?
Yeah, back to back. Back to back. 2 of our biggest rivals.
We could be looking different.
2 of our biggest rivals back to back.
We could be looking different in a couple of weeks, Gillies. Huh?
Yeah, I'm glad you're confident.
What type of confidence are you talking about?
I'm glad Man United are confident.
Bro, if 16 games, has gone in the league, 16. No, we played 17 games, and we are 9 points off the top, I don't know.
Can you tell the people what you
one-
said offline when the cameras are off yesterday? How much you love that Teta?
I like
you tell the
Arsenal.
people?
I like Arsenal. I like how he's not playing. I like what he's
Thank
doing
you
over
very
there. He's a
much.
good coach. He's a good
One,
coach.
you're acting like 9 points is a small gap. It's not. It's a big gap. And 2, you're acting like Newcastle, City, and Arsenal. We're just going to capitulate, and then you're going to just rise to the essential.
It's not just capitulate. So obviously, it's keep it to form, and this is why you don't want to run off and say, "Oh, I'm going to win the league. I'm going to win the league." If it was Man City there, and it was a 9-point gap, and they had 1 loss and 2 draws for the season, I'd say, no, I'm not catching them. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Arsenal's a totally different prospect.
Why?
It's 3 games.
Why?
You see, what?
Why?
Because your next 2 games are Spurs away and us at home.
You just said that we're going to batter Spurs.
I think that I could be wrong.
Okay,
I said if they're going to get points from you anyway, we'll be at home.
No,
but I think you're going to batter
the energy
them.
switched. You can't go from. I think you're going to batter them to your next game. The Spurs are home.
Yeah, when in context, when you add them black to black, us Spurs at home, Spurs away, then United, it's difficult. What I'm saying is,
But the Spurs games comes
you
first.
could beat both of us,
Yeah.
but you could lose both of them. I'm saying all I just said is it could change in a couple of weeks. That's all I've said.
Yeah, but
it's 3 games,
Anything
Killy.
can change. That's a very.
It's 3 games. There's 20-something games left, and it's 3 games.
All right. What's your ultimate point here?
You are talking to me like I'm crazy when I'm telling you that the 9-point gap is nothing.
No, it is. It ain't nothing. It's something.
Okay then.
It's something. 9 points. 9 points ain't nothing.
Okay then.
9 points is something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are your next 3 games?
I can't wait till May, bro.
Our next 3
I'm dying for it.
will be City at home, Arsenal away. I don't know if it's in that order. I don't know who the third one would be.
So hold on. Your next 2 games is against Arsenal.
I'm sure my next home game in the league is the derby.
Let me check. So we
I
can
feel like it.
So we can have this.
I'm going to Old
conversation.
Trafford tomorrow to watch Everton,
Let's have this conversation.
to watch the FA Cup game.
All right.
On the 15th, there's a game against. Come on.
So you got Everton tomorrow.
Yep.
That's FA Cup.
Going there.
You got EFL Cup against Charlton.
Yep.
Then your next 2 Prem games is against City and Arsenal.
See
what? See what? So your next 2 games are against the 2 top teams in the league right now, and you're telling me 9 points is nothing.
We'll have to see.
If the thing is, I'll come here and shake your hand if you come out them 2 games
With how many points?
with 6 points.
That's a tough ask. I'll
Well,
shake your hand if you come out.
well,
If you come out,
this
I'll shake
this
your hand
is-
if you come out your next 2 games with 6 points
Then I
too.
guess we'll be some shaking hand motherfuckers then. The reason I'm saying that is because you're saying 9 points is nothing, yeah? But I'm saying 9 points is a big gap considering the form of the 3 teams above you. Because you're acting like, you're going to be able to claw back these 9 points.
I know
like
it's crazy.
They're
yeah.
going to capitulate.
I play football. I play management games all the time. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's not real life. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a reference I'm going to hold. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm playing Football Manager,
Yeah.
and 17 games are gone,
Yeah.
and I'm 9 points off the top,
Yeah.
bro, this league might be mine. And yeah, the only way I would say that I would think to myself that I'm not going to win it if it was City or Liverpool up there. You get what I'm trying to say? Because they just usually batter everybody and win everything. So to catch that, you're gonna have to be just as perfect of them, which is hard and damn near impossible. You know what I'm trying to say? Everybody knows City in real life, and I forget Football Manager, has got it in them, and they're more than likely gonna go and win 14 on the spin.
Yeah.
At some point, they do it every year.
Yeah.
At some point, they're gonna rack up 15, 20 all comps
Yeah.
wins. Yeah. You ain't gonna do that.
No, it is. I feel like you're talking like United are top of the league. Like your level of confidence.
Why would you say such things?
No, but your level of confidence is like you guys aren't fourth behind 3 other teams who are playing well. It's,
We're joint third with Newcastle. We've got a game in hand on them.
yeah.
Yeah. We take points from City in our next game where like 3 points behind them or something like this. Brother, it's not great. It's not. I don't understand what he's doing.
Question: are you confident taking points from City?
What, at home?
Yeah.
I don't want to say confidence, but it's like I've said about the thing. If we're going to do it anyway, it's going to be there.
I hope you take points off City.
We need to.
Like all the points.
Yeah, we need to. I want to.
I want them to take all the points off City.
Yeah, we need to. We need to.
And if you are able to take points of City, I'm confident we can take points of City.
I hear that. I hear your logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear
If
your
you're
logic.
going in confident, but I'm going in confident.
You should be.
Up top.
You should be confident though. You are better than everybody you play.
Oh, that's addressing Nketiah.
You are better than everybody you play. How about that?
Nketiah got 2 and 3. Thoughts?
I mean, I watch the games.
Yeah.
Like the goals. It'll appease you lot for situations like this when you're having arguments, but it's not. It's not that. And I don't mean to be rude or dismissive.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm not trying to be rude or dismissive at all because I'm watching the games and I've seen him scored, so it's great. So it backs up everybody's point and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But it's not that though.
No one thinks Nketiah is that guy. Like he's not a world beater, but the suggestion that he can't score goals, which is his job.
No, that he couldn't score goals. That he's not going to be the one to lead your line to fire you to the victories to the league.
100%, of course not.
He'll get the goals here and there. He's not going to fight. He can't fire you to the league though.
I don't think anybody has said that.
Well, I said you need to go get another striker in January,
and we all believe that.
No, you said it's calm. You got Eddie.
No, I didn't say that.
You did. You said you got Eddie straight. Brent was saying he's not sure about Eddie. Don't know about all this. You was like, no. I think if he gets a run, he can do his thing.
I said Eddie's going to score goals, which he has, and he will continue to do. I didn't say that Eddie's all we need until the end of the season. Why would I say that? No way. What I said was that we're going to maintain our top 4 presence with Eddie. That's what I said. Like, we're not going to drop from 1st down to 5th with just Eddie. That's what I said.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I hope he surprises both of us.
Yeah, you know what? More power to him, man. The young boy, man, getting his money, man. I hope he does his thing, man. You get me? That's the truth of it.
I hope he scores against United. I hope he scores 2, and I hope they're just tappings.
Next couple of weeks is going to be really,
if he scores against us, that means you put a 3 past us. Nah, don't see it.
If he scores against us, that means you get 3 passes.
Yeah, because he probably would have scored he's going to score like the 3rd or 4th one, if that makes sense. Like, he's not opening the line. He's not doing all that.
Not necessarily, come on.
I'm just telling you.
Anyone can score the first goal. Next couple of weeks is going to be interesting though, considering the fixtures.
Extremely interesting.
Like, you guys we've got Spurs and United, you've got City and Arsenal, sorry. Nah, it's going to be interesting times.
Yeah, we'll be up for the Spurs game.
Yeah.
We'll be
up for the Spurs game.
You'll be up for it, you're saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think they're cool.
Remember, there's FA Cup in between, so our first team players are going to get a nice little rest there.
But they do owe you. You made them look bad at Emirates.
And hopefully make him look bad again.
Well,
and Spurs,
Harry's picking up. Don't know why he decided to wait
and
till after the World Cup.
I doubt it, but hopefully we can get a player in before. I think this Mudryk thing
I think Chelsea take him off you.
Might collapse.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do as
because
well.
Shakhtar are being eggs about this.
I'm hoping. I really hope Chelsea take him off you.
I have a sneaking suspicion it won't happen.
Yeah, let's hope.
But
Put the energy out there, baby.
The only thing is, because he's been dancing and twerking for Arsenal, for him personally, he's not going to want to go to Chelsea. He's going to want to try and drive it home. But if Shakhtar say if Shakhtar say you're going Chelsea,
London's London, man,
Chelsea.
And Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's a big draw, you know. Chelsea's a nice place,
I'm not saying not
like
big
a
draw,
proper
but I'm saying
area. Like
the issue, I feel like his mistake is he's making his desire to go to Arsenal too public. So if he goes to any other team, not that this matters, but okay, you didn't want to go here. You didn't want to be here because you're twerking for Arsenal every day. You're posting that you're watching them on the story, you're doing this, you're doing that. So for him, it looks bad if he now just goes Chelsea.
Yeah, look bad, £300,000 a week bad. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, it could look bad, look more. I'll do it, man. I'll do what I got to do.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he won't go, but you know what I mean.
And London's not London. Don't say that.
You say?
Don't say London's London. It's not.
From a youth playing in the Ukrainian league, bro. He wants to come down to London, and then he's gassing up Arsenal, and then Chelsea comes on the table. That's not Everton, bro. That's Chelsea. That's Champions League winning, Premier League winning, up in Stamford Bridge in West End, in the west of London. Yeah, that is a big draw, and so for him, London is London in that sense. Like,
I don't.
It's not going to be that. Oh no, I wanted to go to North London. I wanted to be at Arsenal so bad.
He's been moving regarding his career and how he puts time in on a training pitch. how he's been talking about Arteta, how he's been talking about Arsenal. I do not see him saying London's London. I see him seeing what's happening with Arsenal and what's going to be happening with Arsenal and making a decision, I want my ass on that pitch.
If them clubs, Chelsea and Shakhtar Donetsk, come to an agreement, and Chelsea put anything upwards of £150,000 a week towards this guy, you think he's not taking it because he was posting about Arteta?
I think personal terms still need to be agreed with the.
Remember, he
That's what I'm saying. Didn't Rafinha want to
remember.
go to Barcelona and Chelsea offered more than Barca was offering, and he still went to Barcelona.
That's Barca. That's different.
No, but you're forgetting.
Anyway,
Mudryk can still say no to Chelsea, innit? The issue is if Shakhtar and Chelsea agree a deal, and Arsenal pull out, as in they tell him we're pulling out, we're no longer in for you, then of course he's going to go Chelsea. Then his options are Chelsea or stay at Shakhtar.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But given the option of Arsenal winning Chelsea,
I don't know, Yusuf. I think he still might be like, nah, I'll stay here until the end of the season and we go again with Arsenal.
Yeah, but that's.
I believe that he's thinking long term here.
But is his contract over
Why
at the
am
end
I
of the
talking
season?
to him? I don't want him like I know him. I don't know him. I don't know him.
And also, is his contract up at the end of the season?
No.
I don't think so. No.
So he's not. So are Shakhtar going to change their stance at the end of the season and say, you know what?
They will, 100%. If he said no to Chelsea, off the back of this particular thing, and even though the clubs have agreed terms, and then come summer, they will still need money, right?
Yeah.
Knowing full well Chelsea can't come back in because you've been rejected the first time.
Yeah.
Then they will go back to the table with Arsenal, and then Arsenal will be like, we're doing it all this time.
But then you've got the risk of other teams getting involved. It's making it worse.
Maybe.
Fucking United. You
This is an Arsenal fan. I'm hanging up.
But I want to talk about.
This is an Arsenal fan. If you're an Arsenal fan,
that
you got 60 seconds.
You guys have ruined the market.
So who do you support?
Support Man United.
All right then.
What is
All
it?
right
Man
then.
United.
He supports United. Yes, speak, man. Floor's yours, Killy. Yeah.
I just got a few things to touch on,
Your reception, bro. Just when we gave you the stage, man.
It's that
You give him the stage.
It's that Man United
Hold
performance.
on. Mark. The thing is, I rate what Arsenal did in the moment, but the 9 points, it's not a big enough cushion because if Arsenal are playing Tottenham and against Man United, I feel like the Man United game eventually will become like a 6-pointer. And also then Arsenal got Man City in February as well. That's another 6-pointer. So by then, if Arsenal drop points and United keep cooking like they are, we could be up there and win like 3 or 4 points. So
Yeah, but it could go the other way though. You know what I
It
mean?
could, but,
Your assumption is that we're gonna drop points and you're gonna cook. How about we cook and you drop points? Like it could go either way.
But yes, Arsenal have a history of like bottling it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Because
it's
you
too.
lot got history.
I feel like it's too early for bottling it talks. It's not even halfway through the season yet, innit? I remember history changes, bro. Things change. Like
If it's like a steady decline, I wouldn't say bottling it's fair. If you drop in the last month or two, then.
But the thing is, you're forgetting this is not the same Arsenal. This is a new Arsenal.
It's not. I think you are totally. I think you are proper solid outfit
with a new mentality. I feel like Arteta finally has the team he wants and the players that can do what he wants to do on the pitch, and it's showing.
No, you're right.
It's showing, and I feel like yes, history can repeat itself, but I feel like we've proven so far this season that this is a different outfit. It is.
Yeah,
This is a different outfit.
Yeah, it's different. I'm not from the second a ball kicked, I could see this was different.
Like,
This was different.
Things have changed. We've turned a new leaf.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that we're gonna go this season, unbeaten or whatever, but from this point on, but we're gonna have hiccups.
You're
on the way.
one party injury away from everything collapsing. That's the truth of the matter.
Exactly.
You said that about Jesus. You said that about Jesus.
No.
You did.
No.
You said we're finished now that Jesus.
No, you did, but just to give a bit of grace, we have way more attacking options than we do midfield options, in it. So I agree that, in my opinion, Thomas Partey is a bigger loss than Jesus.
The only game you lost this year is because Partey weren't playing.
Remember, we're getting goals from Saka. We're getting goals from all over the place. So remember, Jesus only scored 5 goals. Yes, he contributed a lot more than just goals, but we're not lacking in goals. Yeah, but in that midfield, Lokonga and El Neni are not sufficient backups
replacements
to Partey, bro. So yes, but I'm not sure.
All I'm saying is,
you go, bro.
What I'm saying is the time is now. If Arsenal want to challenge the league, you don't need to invest in your squad now in January.
That's what we're trying to do. But Shakhtar are being arses about it.
I'm hearing people are talking about Yao Felix coming in on loan. What I need.
He'll be good. The asking price is a bit much, but he'll be good.
But if they're asking for 21 million for a 6-month loan,
it's 13 million loan fee, and then the rest of his wages will work out.
Because it's us two who are in for him.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's stupid money.
Yeah. There's less chance of us doing it because the Glazers are setting up.
Yeah.
And that guy, there's the group that's got United reckon it's going to be done in the first quarter of this year.
Okay.
Which is by March.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? What kind of outlay are they going to give, man? Where's the money coming from? What are they going to do if they're leaving? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the timing is not necessarily good. We're a little bit screwed.
I got a quick question for Margs, yeah? A quick one. Margs, United need an attacking player, striker, yeah? Who do you realistically think out there that we can get on loan?
On loan?
We're not spending no money.
See, and again, that's the problem. I don't want to, because that's going back to it feels like how we was when we got Garlo and Somani and we just needed a body, because at this moment we just need a body. But then when you go down that route and then you just start loaning, man, whatever you bring in is not going to be what we want. It's going to be cutting corners in some way, shape or form. You get what I'm trying to say? So there's no one out there that...
Memphis?
I was when it was before the season started and there was contract stuff with Barcelona, I was looking at that, I was thinking, you know what, I'd have a go with that. I'd try that. But I think did he re-up? Did he sign again? Did he re-up?
I don't think so. I can't remember if he did.
I don't know if there's a loan there. I wouldn't want to spend too much money on him. But that could be one then. I'd probably look at on a loan thing. Memphis, maybe, if that was on it. Apart from that, we need like the Osimhen's or the Vahaloviches, and we need like a proper...
I'm actually surprised you're not trying to get thingy from Juventus anyway.
Vahalovic, whatever his name is. Yeah, well, I don't know what they're doing.
I think he's kind of up for grabs.
But again, they can't...
because of the sale of the team.
Sorry, Killy, you was good. Don't call back, man. That was love.
I said, don't call back, you know. What I wanted to say was, I feel like you guys are ruining the market because Shakhtar's stance has been, we feel like Modric is worth the same as Anthony. And if United paid 80 million for Anthony from Ajax, we want that same type of money. You lot overpaying for players all the time has ruined the market a tad.
Well, not really. It's not just us. They said they're saying Grealish as well. They're saying Grealish, 100 million Grealish.
No, but he used Grealish and he used Anthony as well, but he said he feels like he's more closer to Anthony in terms of he feels like he's better than Anthony.
Oh, he ain't won nothing.
Who?
Not in Europe. Well, obviously you
Who, Anthony or Modric?
Modric. I don't know if they won that because Shakhtar win that league every year. So I'm not saying he ain't won nothing in Russia, but Everdizzy.
But the fact that he's using Anthony as a
Modric ain't done nothing to that 62 million is good money for Modric. They're taking the piss.
No, yes.
Yeah, so it's not just that. 100% that's a factor.
Yeah.
But also they've lost a lot of their Brazilian players because of the whole war.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it is that they're in courts right now trying to change the ruling that the money that they lost from these Brazilian players going back, they're trying to clear it back.
Okay.
So they need money right now because they've lost a lot of money.
Okay.
So
all the players going. Akon just went.
Get this money back.
Yeah.
Because Modric is their best player now.
Yeah.
Like, literally. So they're trying to cash in. And to be honest, if this was an Arsenal problem, but I'd want Arsenal to do the same thing. I'd want them to do the same thing. And especially if Izzy had another club trying to come in to say, I'm going to pay you this and next. I'll be forcing that. Brother, sell it to the highest bidder.
Yeah, no, in terms of business, I understand why they want to do highest bidder thing, but it's just frustrating knowing that the player wants to come to Arsenal and they are definitely overvaluing him. Then you got people like Chelsea. What's his name? Todd something.
Todd Bowley.
Who's basically
playing Football Manager is going to buy everyone.
Basically, so it's annoying that you got someone like that who doesn't care. He's going to gazump anyone and put down stupid money and overpay for players just to play this fucking monopoly thing. You know what I mean? Because how much were they going to play for Fernandes? 127 million because they had a good World Cup.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous. They're making the market worse.
Stupidness.
But
just quickly before we leave the reaction, our condolences to the Gold family. David Gold passes away. Joint West Ham chairman.
Oh yeah.
Yes, 86 years old. He died peacefully with his devoted daughters, Jacqueline and Vanessa, and his fiancée Leslie by his side. And we'll just send our condolences out to RIP. Big loss from the football world. He's been about for a while. Yeah, that's the end of our sports news. Let's get into Out Ere, man.
United.
Yeah.
So we could lose to Spurs on any day. We could lose to Man City on any day. The fact that is we're at the top of the league, it don't change nothing. But I do believe that we're going to be playing much better than we did last year. The year before that. It's next year that you have to be worrying about. But I've really
I'm not into it. Next year we're going to be good.
If it's I just want top 4.
This is why we always get into this, yeah, and especially now because we're here every day, yeah, and so we're going to be getting to this all the time. I urge you.
Be saying this as a
I urge you. I implore you to just start watching United, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Like, because you're saying things and you don't know.
No, but
This shows how far you've fallen.
What do you mean?
This shows how far you've fallen.
Why?
That's supposed to be a default.
What do you mean?
United are top.
No, but we're good. We're going to be good, but you don't know that. When I'm telling you you're going to be good, you're just telling me like I'm saying craziness. But I'm saying
say next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
no, we're good
Basically,
this
our
year.
mantra.
Yeah.
No,
We're
it's your
good this year.
mantra.
Yeah.
Since we've lost, I said we're the form team of the league, and I was being funny. Yeah, it's you lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
But you are the only team that's got more points than us since the
But
only team.
the thing is, no
Like,
one-
we're on form.
No
We're
one
cooking.
believes that you have bad players. It's just that I feel like your manager needed time to just get shit together, innit?
And he's getting it there. We're cooking right now, you know, just like you are as well. Like, because you are doing your thing. But I'm saying us here, we, Man United, we are cooking
But
right now.
you're acting like your cooking is gonna trump everyone else's cooking. Like
I never said that. I never said that.
Thing is, what I'm saying is, we're cooking too, and we're 9 points clear of you. That's what I'm saying. And, you know what I'm trying to say?
No, I hear that.
So you can cook all you like, but you got to close that 9 point gap first. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not talking like we're on level points. I'm just saying.
So
That
you're saying your project's looking good for the next 3 years?
we don't know. It's good. It's looking good, man. He's made some good
You can see
signings.
what he's trying to do?
Yeah.
What is he trying to do? Tell us.
He's trying to build a team
Yeah.
that run,
Yeah.
that work, that press, that have
A
quality,
team that runs and works.
that have quality, that are brave on the
Quality.
ball.
And are brave on the ball.
Yeah, play
Good press.
exceptional football. This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. Why? Who's that sound like?
Any football. Bloody hell. I'm glad you're smiling, to be honest, because you weren't smiling top of the year. Well, top of the football year.
Yeah, well, I always told you that it weren't going to be as bad as you think. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Chelsea got Man City tonight, innit?
What, league game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Chelsea can do us a favour, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Get at least a draw or something. But they're what? They're 11th in the league. They're not playing well.
Are you hoping Chelsea can do you a favour, Max?
I don't need no favours from nobody.
I
You know what I'm saying? We're straight.
That's Man United. That's Man United.
Line them up and knock them down, boy. We just, you know what I'm saying?
Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely jubbly. Okay, cool. So, Out Ere. Who is today's recipient of Out Ere? You know it's going to be, because it's been giving me joke all this time, yeah. And I personally, I'm not on you, innit? You get what I'm saying? Because I get it. Well, kind of get it. I'm from the streets. You feel me? So I get it.
No, I just saw who you're talking about.
I like how you're lining up. I ain't on you.
No, I'm not, because I've chimed in. Basically, yeah, my recipient of this week's Out Ere, yeah, is Loski, yeah. And it's not because you got found guilty for possession of a firearm, because that's not funny. And I would prefer you was on road, young boy doing this thing. I want your career to thrive and all that. So you're definitely not Out Ere, even though I'm not glorifying prison or nothing like that. But the firearm that they got you with, yeah, has gone
The fire finger,
viral. Huh?
That's no arm. That is a finger.
Yeah, but the thing is, can I...
The fire finger.
For a second, yeah? I'm going to cut some slack. You know if you've got like a secret agent?
Yeah.
He has different types of guns, innit? So they always have the small gun in the sock in case the big thing runs out. So that's, to me, that's just a part of his arsenal.
backup.
That isn't his sole gun.
Again, like I said, and this is why I said I'm not on you, because I'm from the streets. I've been there before. I know about all these things. There's time, place for everything.
Yeah.
I piped up yesterday. That's because I saw everybody doing the memes and leaning on him. And I tweeted something. I said, look, granted, I wouldn't want to get in a shootout with that thing, but them little pocket rockets can save your life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? They can save your life, and you can conceal them and bring
Yeah,
them
exactly.
down there anyway.
Yeah.
So they have their purposes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like, anybody who's been in the street before, I'm sure you've come across some small caliber weapons. You get what I'm trying to say? it's not like it's not alien to man. You know what I'm trying to say? But seeing it there, and when you get thrown to the wolves, and when you're just internet gonna do what internet do.
Yeah.
And they are cooking this
They were
man.
like, don't let the Americans see this.
Well,
because the Americans are cooking them.
Let me tell you, the only reason why I put it on Down at Air, is because DJ Academics posted it.
Oh.
These comments.
What's his caption?
Oh no, the caption says UK rapper Loski found convicted of possession of a loaded revolver and was found guilty of possession prohibited firearms.
Oh.
They're saying, what the fuck is that? They're saying, well, it's like a 4mm. Man said, that's the piece from Men in Black.
Oh, man.
Americans are so funny. Man said, where's the rest of it?
Yeah, but figure that piece from Men in Black was powerful though.
I know.
Like, when he shot it, remember he flew back.
Man said, who he finna smoke with that? Oh hey, they are killing me. Man said he's got the hair ye. Man said, hey ye, up thy currency.
That's dumb.
Killing me. Americans are so dumb. Not the Wild Wild West 3000.
Well, it seems so small. You might have to hold it with two hands.
The finger.
That's the funny thing. It seems so small. You have to hold it with two hands. Does that make sense? It's too small to just grip it. And you have to be like.
You have to hold. You have to hold. Yeah, that's mad.
Oh, man said, boy got that doohickey. Hey, I don't even know. This is the gun that killed Abraham Lincoln.
Oh man.
They're out of order because you know damn right academics don't even know who Loski is.
I think this is an old case as well. He got found with that in 2019.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in fairness, the gun could be bigger by now. Could have grown.
You're dumb. You're actually dumb.
I saw a tweet saying that there's only one member of the Harlem Spartans still active. Everyone else is either dead or in prison.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Didn't know that.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So Loski got caught with a sawn off snub nose. And hey, listen, if you go on DJ Academics page,
on Instagram, Twitter.
On Instagram, and go on the picture and go in the comments, you can catch some jokes. Did you put the picture up, Brett? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. You can catch yourself some jokes. So it sweet me for a bit. I was there. If you just want a few minutes to just laugh, because these Americans are stupid. They're toasting your boy, and the English are toasting him on Twitter as well. Again, I'm not overly on you for it. You get me? Like, guns is guns. I'm pretty sure these people wouldn't have said nothing to your face, especially if you backed out on them. So, do you get what I'm trying to say? So,
is it missing a part?
Huh?
Is this it?
Yeah,
or
that's
is
it.
Missing like an attachment or something?
I don't know. Remember, guns ain't legal over here. So you get what you
get what you get.
You get what you get. Yeah, you get what you're given. You love.
Clearly get what you get.
You get how you live and you love how you get. Yeah, that's what you do. So when it comes to firearms in this country, the condition of them and these things, just having them. So good.
Yeah, guns is guns though. People are laughing, but if you back that out of you and put it to your head, you'll be shaking your boots off, bro.
Shaking in their boots.
Shaking in the boots.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not onto you.
You're onto the gun, to be fair.
I'm not even onto the gun. I just think it was funny, innit? It was funny.
Yeah.
When shit happens, when it comes out, you're getting dragged. It's funny, man. I laughed. I can't even lie, man. That sweet me, man. I laughed.
No, it is. It's the optics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the optics are funny, and the American narrative is funny because they already think
Americans don't.
They already think that we just got this when we're gonna shoot the gun.
Americans are so funny. They cooked you, man. But Loski, man, sorry, man. Free you up, man. But you're done at Air Killy. Sorry, man. Let's get into this outro.
Let's do it. As always, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like the video before you come out of it. Share it. Subscribe to the channel. Do all that great stuff. Also, don't forget, follow us on Twitter because every morning we tweet about the show and what is to come on the show. So we'll appreciate it if you retweeted that. And that is on the day after TNB on Twitter. And you can actually follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well, The Day After TNB, all the same handles. If you would like to send a voice note or text in for asking for a friend, sis, what would you do? Is this what would you do tomorrow? The number is 075 6484 1073. Also join the community, community.thenewblack.com. It's a lot of amazingness that goes on in there. And if you'd like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, the email address is thedayafter@thenewblack.com. We are done, and we will see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Goodbye.